I'm Fly Live Phil, your host for this evening. So today what we will be doing is our typical show. It is a F1 live commentary. So we'll be commentating throughout the whole entire race. I'll be watching, and you guys will get my reaction, and I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. So I'm using the Formula One multi-viewer, so I'll be able to get some good track data. We'll switch to different driver views, and I'll give you guys a little bit of my thoughts on what's happening in the race and how the weekend has went so far. So typically, I'm joined by my son, Dylan, but tonight he's actually at a birthday party. So this is the Australian Grand Prix. It is currently 10 p.m. almost here in Southern California. I'm broadcasting live to you guys from Riverside, California at my studio. So thank you guys for joining us. So I'll give you a little bit of audio from the intro show.
Two foes on row 2 of the grid. This was Hamilton going.
Yeah, we got Hamilton on row 2. So it was a really eventful qualifying. It was actually a pretty crazy qualifying. So Verstappen got pole. Not surprised about that. It is surprising, however, that Checo Perez, actually, he didn't crash out, but he beached his Red Bull in Q1. So Checo Perez will actually be starting from P20. And they made some changes to his car while it was in Parc Ferme. So he's actually going to be starting from the pit lane. So so they have 6 different tire compounds. They're using the C2, C3, C4 compounds. The hardest is C5, so we are definitely using some of the harder tires for this race. And it's been a really low abrasion track this weekend, so that made qualifying actually very interesting. And what I mean by that is typically in a qualifying, you'll see a driver. They'll put a fresh set of tires on. They'll do a warm-up lap. They'll get their tires into the temperature window that they want to do a flying lap. And then typically, as soon as they're finished with a flying lap, they'll go do a cool down lap, enter pit lane, get another set of tires, rinse and repeat, go through the same process. But this weekend, due to the low degradation, we actually saw some drivers do better times after they've done a few flying laps. So, for instance, Q1, I want to say most drivers did like 4 or 5 flying laps almost in a row without pitting. So they filled the car up with enough fuel to do multiple flying laps and went ahead and went through the process. So that was pretty interesting. Other things that are noteworthy from qualifying would be the Mercedes. The Mercedes were much quicker around the track than what even they had anticipated. And Hamilton was pleasantly surprised with the pace of the car, as was Russell. Russell did out-qualify Hamilton again for this race, which has been happening a lot, but Hamilton's been really good in the races. So P1 is Verstappen, P2, George Russell, P3, Hamilton, P4, I believe, was Alonso, and then we've got some Ferraris and Lance Stroll and the other Aston Martin, kind of in the first 3, in the top 3. I don't know. Not lanes, but on the grid. So
thank you very much, Mr. Buxton.
All right, so race is about to start. I think I'll go ahead and pop my bottle. So as is customary for Formula One race, each day I'm going to try a different bottle of either champagne or sparkling wine. And today I've got a really nice bottle. It's a Segura Viudas from Spain. Segura Viudas. I'm saying that terribly. Segura Viudas. All right, and it's a brute. Yeah, really beautiful bottle. Get a view of what I'll be sipping on today. I got to give another shout out to my son. I do miss Dilly Dill. He's on Twitch. He's a bit of a gamer, so if you guys are into gaming, check him out on Twitch. Dilly DS17 is his at. And then myself, once again, this is Fly Live Phil, broadcasting live from Riverside, California. And you can catch me on social at Fly Live Phil. So yeah, thanks anybody who joined. I really appreciate you guys being on with us. So yeah, I am really excited for this race. If you haven't noticed, I'm a Mercedes fan. I'm a big Lewis Hamilton fan and fan of the Mercedes team in general. Really happy with the performance of George Russell so far. You know, the Mercedes have definitely been scoring some points, which has been great. But we're hoping for more. You know, we need more podiums for Mercedes, and I want to see them battling back at the front and kind of giving Verstappen and Perez a little bit better of a run for their money. And hopefully today will be a bit of the start of that. So let me get my data tracker up,
for a Grand Prix that's been held here.
my driver tracker, and I think I'll do the data tracker too
Takes the lead off the line.
in the corner just to have an idea of
We know in the Red Bull, the race pace is
what's
very
happening in.
Mercedes then will have their work cut out to try and pass him.
Yeah, this is going to be a great race. So I think there's a
The other man
fantastic
is
opportunity for Mercedes
second row
today.
of the grid.
Ferrari was slow. Ferrari was really slow. Typically, the Ferraris have great pace during the. Typically, they have great pace during qualifying, but today that just is not what happened. Or yesterday, that's just not what happened. And usually, their race pace is a little bit off compared to what they do in quali. But hopefully for Ferrari, that's not the case, since they were not too fast in.
Really do much
In the qualifying, but we'll see. So the drivers just did their formation lap. They are pulling up to the grid. Verstappen is now on the pit straight, approaching his box, and Red Bull is Checo Perez in the Red Bull is just getting his blankets off his tires and pulling out of the garage, and he's starting out on a set of hard tires, brand new hard tires, and it looks like Verstappen is on a set of brand new yellows. We've got George Russell on a set of brand new yellows as well. So it seems as though that's the tire for starting out. That way they could have some good grip. We'll see if these guys are going to be running any red tires. Also starting from the pit lane is Valtteri Bottas. So he's starting 19th and made some changes to his vehicle in Parc Fermé as well. So anytime you do something to your car after you qualify, you have to start from the pit lane. It's a penalty. So they don't want people making changes that give them a benefit. So, all right, let's get this bottle popped, and everybody is on the grid.
Green flag at the back. The third Grand Prix of the season is 5.
And here we go.
Lights away.
Lights out. Good start from Verstappen. Looks like Hamilton got a good start as well. Wow, George Russell's putting some pressure on Verstappen into the first turn. And George Russell actually comes to the first turn ahead. And Hamilton is right on Verstappen's tail. And the Aston Martin of Alonso was really fast, too. He's giving Hamilton a run for his money. It looks like Alonso's going to get by. And one of the Ferraris as well. Oh, Verstappen's having a bad start. He's got Hamilton along the inside of him on turn 3, it looks like. And there's a Ferrari in the gravel. They look like they're beached. Yellow flag in sector 1. Yeah, Verstappen had a terrible start ahead of Max Verstappen to start on the race. So that is just absolutely crazy. Let's go, Mercedes. Let's go. That was fantastic. Great start for Mercedes. Verstappen, he's got a fast car, though. I mean, they've got by far the fastest car in the DRS. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, let's see if there's a lot of action on this opening race, or on this opening lap. Let's see where we're at. So we've got Russell first, P1, Hamilton second, Verstappen third, Sainz fourth, Alonso fifth, Albon in the Williams sixth, Stroll seventh, Gasly eighth, Ocon ninth, Hulkenberg 10th, Sonoda 11th, Norris 12th, Magnussen 13th, Piastri 14th, Joe 15th, De Vries 16th, 17th Sargent, 18th Perez, 19th Bottas, Charles Leclerc out of the race. Charles Leclerc is out, and that is a bummer for Ferrari. Terrible weekend for Ferrari so far. But let's see if we can, safety car. So this is a fantastic start for Mercedes. It couldn't have went any better. Not only are they in front, but they've got a safety car on the first lap, so kind of cements their spot ahead of them. Russell is in a great position. We've got one of the Alpines coming into the pit.
And,
I don't know if they had some contact, but they're going from a red tire to a white tire, and that'll be Esteban Ocon. And he had a fast pit, 2.6 seconds, but yeah, he's going to tumble down the order since he went into the pit. Perez came in, got some yellows,
these guys who
fresh set of yellows.
Who's just ditched those softs.
Interesting.
And go onto a hard and try and run that. Maybe for the
Interesting. What man, that was a good start.
Another pit stop. Whereas everyone putting on a medium.
All right. Shout out to everybody watching the race with me once again. This is Fly Live Phil. I am giving you some commentary on the Formula One race live. So if you don't have F1 TV, if you don't have cable to watch this, and thanks for joining us. Yeah, so somebody on the inside, it looked like Lance Stroll actually going into that was probably turn 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, turn 3.
Yeah, he just turns in from the outside.
Yeah, that's rough for Leclerc. And in turn 3, there's a huge gravel trap. Huge gravel trap. So if you hit that gravel trap, I mean, you're beached. Yeah, Alonso. Yeah, Charles Leclerc. It was his fault. Kind of turned into Lance Stroll. So major contact for Lance Stroll. See if his car was damaged. Hopefully not, because the Aston Martin is a really fast car. So
I think Charles was too greedy there, down towards turn 3. He had the racing line.
That'll give me a chance to
off
a glass of this.
Chopping in as much as he did. So
Segura
from
Viudas.
He's taking himself out of the Grand Prix. Stroll still running his 7th.
So it's a brute wine from Spain we're drinking today. I've been drinking all California sparkling wines, but I went to La Bodega in Riverside. Shout out La Bodega, one of my favorite stores. And this bottle looked good, and it was fairly priced. So.
But not into the gravel. Signs up a position. Alonso down 1, unusual for the 2.
Yeah, that's a good bottle.
Starts. Albon having a great weekend.
I will be buying these again. So cheers to the folks over at Segura Viudas for making this lovely
Gasly, Hulkenberg,
brute
Sonoda
sparkling wine.
Replay. David, take us through the start of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, George Russell hooked it up nicely on that initial drive. That's exactly what we saw the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso do.
And Verstappen didn't have a bad initial start, but
a little bit greedy trying to battle.
He was struggling on those mediums. Once they got going into the first turn, I mean, Russell just had the traction, and then Hamilton went up the inside of turn 3 and pushed Verstappen wide. They may have touched. Hamilton and Verstappen may have touched. But
touched my rear right wheel.
I mean, this is a different Hamilton. That's a move you wouldn't have seen him do 2 years ago, because he's got nothing to lose now. Verstappen has it all to lose.
But already at that point, George is there. We're going to
George just
merge on the brakes, and as
smashed on him from the get-go.
You can see struggling for
that was great. Great start.
And it seems to me that he was a little bit too cautious and braking in 3.
Yeah, so
the opportunity for Hamilton to appear on the inside. And look,
once again, I'll go through the order of the top 10. We've got Russell P1, Hamilton P2, Verstappen 3, Sainz 4th, Alonso 5th, Albon.
Understood.
Yeah. Quit complaining, Verstappen. Alonso in 5th, Albon in 6th, Stroll in 7th, Gasly in 8th, Hulkenberg in 9th, and Sonoda P10 so far. So we're already on lap 3 of 58. They haven't shown where Charles Leclerc is at. I'd assume that they're trying to get his car out of the gravel trap right now.
Yeah, the safety car is going to be in a few moments' time.
Okay, safety car is going in, and looks like
to the pictures, trackside with Bernd Maylander about to return.
Russell's ready to get going once they get into green. Oh, yeah, he took off.
At the moment,
so race is on.
George Russell trying to win his 2nd Grand Prix.
Oh, not yet. Sorry, still under yellow. Oh, green flag. Here we go. Safety car in. And Russell took off. So lap 3 now, coming up to the start of lap 4 out of 58 on this 3.2 mile track in Australia for the 2023 Australian Grand Prix. Thank you all for joining me once again. This is Fly Live Phil, and great start for Mercedes. Heck of a start for Mercedes, to say the least.
And then go on the attack.
This is such a chance for Mercedes now with 2 cars out front. Russell out front.
Yeah, definitely a great chance for Mercedes.
To do something in the pit stop phase in what should be a faster Red Bull, given everything.
But God, that Red Bull looks fast. He's already right up on Hamilton.
They've got a chance. They've got a buffer to the
coming up to turn 8, which is not much of a turn. And then long sweeping left hand coming up to turn 9, which is a decent left and a big right.
At least one move on the circuit. He's really close now.
Yeah. Verstappen's
Yeah,
already
aggressive early, even without DRS. He's got
in
the straight
Hamilton's,
line speed acceleration advantage, but
he's in his
the
draft and
air. But this
quickly
modern
approaching.
Formula One is
So
designed
for the
to
most
allow
part,
them to
everyone is on the
compete with
mediums in the
Hamilton
top
at this point.
14, in the top 13, excuse me, except for Gasly, who started on the hard or on the soft. And then P14 through 19 are all on hard tires. And Charles Leclerc's day ended early in the gravel trap in turn 3 on the first lap. So it's a bummer for Charles Leclerc to be out already.
So Hamilton has to stay within DRS of Russell, which he's currently doing as well. Otherwise, the pace, as you say, of the Red Bull with DRS on the straight, with 4 DRS zones here, is going to be quite a frightening prospect, I think, for Hamilton to try and keep Verstappen behind. If he's got his own DRS, sitting this close behind his teammate, then that'll be the best way for him to defend as well. Maybe think about passing Russell.
Fastest lap is George Russell so far, 123.13. Qualifying fastest lap was in the low 117s in Q3, and I believe in Q2 Verstappen pumped out a 116. So these cars are really quick around here.
Get the chance to overtake down into turn 1 unless Hamilton makes a small mistake off the last corner. So he's got to use his strength.
Yeah, the Red Bull's fast, but I mean, he's half a second behind Hamilton. He's kind of been sitting half a second behind Hamilton, but we should see on the next lap DRS be enabled.
He is.
When they get DRS on the next lap.
Yeah, but Hamilton and Russell are going to be fighting.
They're all 3 of them.
Hamilton wants this race, and he's won quite a few times in Australia, and Hamilton really likes this track. It suits his driving style.
You don't want to keep him too close, though, because
so Verstappen's in third, trying to reel in Hamilton. Hamilton's in second, trying to reel in Russell, and we are now starting lap 6. Russell just crossed the line, and Verstappen just nicked the fastest lap from Russell at 123.1. So a tenth of a second faster than Russell's previous, the
penultimate Grand Prix of the year. Let's check in on Sergio Perez further.
0.03 of a second faster than Russell's previous fastest lap.
Started the race from the pit lane. He's in 17th at the moment.
He's made 2 pit stops.
All right, shout out to my viewers out there. Thank you for joining.
So Perez.
So to run through the order, lap 6, we got Russell in first, Hamilton second, Verstappen third, Sainz fourth, Alonso 5th, Albon 6th, Stroll 7th, Gasly 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Tsunoda 10th, Norris up to 11th in the McLaren, which is a bit of a surprise. Magnussen down in 12th, Piastri 13th, De Vries 14th, Ocon 15th, Zhou 16th, Perez 17th, Bottas 18th, Sargent 19th, Charles Leclerc out of the race on lap 1. Once again, thank you to the viewers for joining us.
From George Russell, and that was DRS.
George and Lewis are fighting. Lewis is in second, but he is right on Russell's bumper. And this year they have 4 DRS zones, so a lot of DRS, which is good for the Red Bull because they are so fast when they open the rear flap, which Verstappen and Hamilton just did. So a bit of a DRS train up in the top 3, and Verstappen just improved on his fastest lap. Hamilton is 0.473 seconds behind Russell, and Verstappen about an equal distance behind Hamilton. So
he's going to struggle to escape.
Yeah, this is interesting.
You're asking me to manage, and I'm being attacked by my own teammate. You tell me if I want going to push to defend or push now.
Here we go, boys. That tells us everything we need to know.
It's a bit feisty.
Russell.
Russell's a damn good driver, but he's got Lewis behind him. And they just zoomed in on Toto Wolff, and he's looking a little stressed out. Different kind of stress. They've been having losing a lot of damn races stress, but now he's got 2 drivers in the front fighting. And we got a yellow flag in sector 2. There's a crash. There's an accident. Albon's looks like he had contact with the wall. His rear wing is broken. He is in traffic. Albon is right at between turn 6 and turn 7 where he crashed, and he's halfway in the gravel and looks like his car is broken. So safety car is out.
I don't think you can make one now.
Safety car is out.
This only helps those that have pitted already, because it means there's
All
less
right.
time for the others.
So let's see. We're on lap 7.
Now, or Perez will be in the
The top 12 cars are on mediums.
So
Albon's car is broken, which is a shame because his car was fast.
As well.
Make sure you're all okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Such a shame.
Such a
Russell
shame.
takes it,
Such a
Dave.
shame.
Russell has
Yeah, Albon was highly competitive.
So, Mr.
Russell in the pit.
Seed track
Wow.
position for George Russell.
Wow.
Puts on the hard touch.
And Russell is losing positions.
That is
We just
difficult to
had-
make. There's signs in the pits. So
Who else was in the pit?
Ferrari. They're the only two I can see.
Magnussen,
at this
Sainz
stage. Russell
went into the
coming
pit,
out
and Russell.
and,
So that's an interesting call.
behind
I mean,
Hulkenberg.
hey, that's one way to
It's Hamilton.
keep your teammates from fighting. So Hamilton's got the lead. He's on 8 laps on a new set of medium tires. Verstappen is in second place. Alonso up to third. Stroll up to fourth. Gasly fifth. Hulkenberg sixth. Russell down in seventh now. So he did get the cheap pit stop
It wasn't actually as
on lap
as I
8,
thought it would
but
be, pitting, because of course
he
the
lost
slower
track
means
position.
time is reduced.
Ooh,
Hamilton just
wow, what
steering
a
away to
crash.
barriers at the quick six now.
Oh my God.
Scatters gravel all over the circuit,
The
and
Alpine
he turns
almost,
right on the racing
Albon almost slid backwards into the Alpine, and he did a great bit of,
so far this
whoever that was in the Alpine.
week. So well,
It was
sixth position,
probably
but he
probably
just hit himself
Gasly.
into the wall there.
Yeah, just carried too much
Did a
speed.
great job of
Apex.
avoiding
We are
a
starting to
serious
step out.
collision with Albon right there, because he hit the wall and after turn 6 and just slid backwards into traffic, and there was dust everywhere, gravel everywhere.
Russell
It's
comes
definitely a
second,
crash that you're going to want to
and,
see
this pitted
replayed on
down in,
uh, on YouTube after this, or F1 TV. Shout out to F1 TV for having the great coverage.
That's put me at a massive disadvantage.
We don't think so. So Verstappen stayed out. Also.
What's your
The problem is
disadvantage,
Hamilton
Lewis?
is now going to be a sitting duck for Verstappen. He had his teammate there, had 4 DRS opportunities to defend
Yeah.
from Verstappen as well as attack Russell. Now, Verstappen
Kind of,
surely will have a good chance just to pass.
Kind of an
Leclerc.
interesting call to
Got a
pit
right
Russell,
ahead.
but I mean, split the strategy. You got 2 cars up
That
front.
completely
Oh,
changes
geez, red
it
flag.
across the board, and George
Ooh.
Russell has given up track position when everyone now.
Yeah, so
can make a
Russell
tight
is going
change
to
under the
be livid. Sorry, George Russell, man. You just never know how these things are going to go.
Strategy completely for everyone.
Well, unless the barrier.
That's the cool thing about Formula One.
Red flagged it because they wanted
In an
to get
instant,
the gravel. That's a bad
everyone's fortunes could change.
It
If
must
the
be
barrier's
barrier.
damaged, then that
They got to fix the barrier.
Well,
yeah.
let's just see.
So Albon just
Hits the barrier. Has he done?
he just
well?
got greedy on the throttle after turn 6 and got into the gas pedal too quickly and spun it around and hit the wall.
racetrack where he has been the fastest driver.
Oh,
Again, long. Let's have a
somebody
look.
was in the wall before.
He was ringing it at the corner before as well.
Yeah, Albon
He
was.
lost the rear.
Looks like he may have had a bit of contact with the wall right before turn 6. It was really wide to the left side, and so this is really interesting what's happened here, and you got to feel bad for George Russell, because he had a fantastic start and fantastic qualifying, and now we've got everyone
So we're
kinda
about to
trembling into the
see
pits,
peculiarities of
red
Formula
flag
One
conditions. So
regulations.
what that means, if you're not watching the race and you're not familiar with Formula One, when they have a red flag, they line all the cars up in order in the pit. And then the teams come out. So, for instance, right now Lewis Hamilton's getting out of his car. So this is going to be a long show, and probably what I'm going to do is play a little bit of music and hang out here, and I'll chat with you guys a little bit, and maybe I'll actually smoke a cigar while I'm hanging out in here. But yeah, pretty interesting. So Hamilton's checking his car out, looking at his front wing. He thinks he had some contact, but his front wing looks like it's in perfect condition. But I think he's going to ask for a new nose cone,
The order you see on the left is the order that they'll restart it.
which is interesting. So when there's a red flag, all the cars pull into the pit. The teams actually have these like carts, and they roll these carts out, and so they have fans to cool the brakes. They put a blower into the big intake just to pump air through there so everything stays cool. They lift the car up. They put blankets on the tires. They'll probably put brand new tires on all the cars. Hamilton's going to get a new nose cone. Russell just jumped out of his car, now in 7th place, and he is pissed. If they would have left him out, it would have been still a Mercedes 1-2. But Russell's got some work to do, man, and this is just really unfortunate. It's something that happens, and Hamilton's out of his car, pulling his braids back, putting his ponytail, putting his scrunchie on his ponytail, and Hamilton is has a look of concern as well, because he knows that he's got to keep Verstappen from passing him by himself. So Verstappen hops out of his car. He's looking calm. He has some work to do. It looks like he knows that his car is not
Unfortunate.
I don't.
sitting in an advantageous as advantageous of a position as he's used to. So that is actually quite interesting. So yeah, lap 9. This race just got red flagged. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a second and give a shout out to some of my homies' businesses. We'll shout out Black Flies. Cheers to the guys at flies.com. Go check them out. I'd like to give a shout out to my cousin, Jack A. Martinez. Check out Solo Cholo, California. If you guys want to see some rad photos, check out Solo Cholo CA on Instagram. This guy's got a rad feed and tons of good art and tons of good rides. And shout out to my baby mama, Karen. Love you,
True,
boo.
it's absolutely true, especially in a race like
Shout out to my one viewer, whoever that is. I don't know.
His thoughts, this is moments before he got out the car.
Yeah, this is bad. Russell's pissed. Russell is pissed. I mean, this is one of the things you can't predict when you're going to get a red flag. It just happens. I mean, it went from a safety car to a red flag that quick, and splitting the strategy is a good call when you've got 2 cars at the front.
I'll tell you something. You would never expect this to be a red flag.
No, that's
In Mercedes'
a really
defense,
fair
you
point.
would never expect.
Yeah,
this to be a red flag.
100%.
Safety car guaranteed.
100%. I mean, the damage to the barrier doesn't look that bad, but
I'm still not convinced. Is that actual barrier damage, or
Hmm.
just the
yeah, there's
good reactions?
there's barrier damage there for
Is it
sure.
just the advertising
Huh.
banners that have come loose, rather
Well, they
than
got to
the
check it
actual
out. There's a
entity
ton of
barrier?
gravel on the track too, so they got to clear that. And
Tech Pro, so
yeah, they're working on it.
Speed. Race
They're
control,
working
have
on
a
it.
Look at whether that's still intact. But
Cheers to all my champagne drinkers out there and sparkling wine drinkers. So once again today, every race I pop a bottle and damn near finish a bottle if I don't. And today we are drinking this Segura Viudas from Spain. Once again, this is, a really beautiful bottle. I like all the detail. I like all the metal finish on the bottom. It's a custom shaped bottle as well. Not only does it have the custom fitted materials on the bottle, which is really cool, but the shape of the bottle as well is a little bit different than your traditional champagne bottle. So shout out to these guys, and I'll probably keep this and maybe end up putting some fresh flowers, some of my roses from my rose bush in here. So I'm going to hang on to that one. And cheers. I'm drinking out of my crystal that my girl found, and I like this glass a lot. It's got the wide brim, so you can really smell what you're drinking, and it's got the short post, so I don't spill this thing on my board while I'm in here drinking next to my equipment, which is a bad idea. You're not supposed to do that in the studio, but that's mine, and I make the rules, so it is what it is.
Sweeping the track. Feel like it's something you can do on the safety car. I have to say, there's an army of.
Yeah, this looked bad, so I don't believe that this should have been
10 minutes time. So
this should not have been a red flag. That was definitely an interesting call from the FIA. So I don't know. FIA has been really, they've been really safe with their calls, and I applaud them for that. Driver safety, viewer safety is all of the utmost importance. But they have made some extremely cautious calls when it comes to red flagging races.
He's definitely checking it out of the car. That's the Ferrari.
So they've got
barriers, the first retirement of the Grand Prix at the start
Charles Leclerc's
of the race.
Ferrari is right next to a bunch of fans just stuck off the side of the track, and they're showing Charles Leclerc his accident again right now. They're showing the lap 1 replay. And yeah, Charles Leclerc just got greedy. I mean, he was trying to make some easy gains on the first lap, but yeah, that was a poor decision. That was a poor decision coming into turn 3.
The red flag changes the entire complexion of the race. That's the thing. Safety car does a bit.
Yeah, safety car, Russell swapping his tires into the safety car, that could have played into his hands in the future. But
that is
Russell getting the
heel, isn't it? He makes
cheap pit stop on lap 8,
Finished article. He's
not that far into the race, off of the yellows and throwing on a pair of I don't even know what tires he put on. I don't recall, but
optimistic on the outside and then turning
this getting red flagged. I mean, nobody would have thought this would have been red flagged. There was a bit of damage to the barriers, but not.
drift out.
It doesn't look like there was enough damage to the barriers for them to red flag the race. So, I mean, that really screwed over Russell. I know he's disappointed and he's upset with what happened, but it's not his team's fault. That was not a bad call by Mercedes to split them. At least I don't think it was, but splitting your strategy when you got the 1-2 and a very fast Max Verstappen in third seemed to have been the right call at the time, but now, that 2020 hindsight and this session being red flagged, that was a bit of a nightmare for Russell. Oh man, gotta feel for George Russell. That's really tough there. So I'll probably play a little bit of music for you guys while we wait. I'm gonna play a little something from an artist I've been working with named Spyro the Seventh. This guy's a great musician. I really love this guy's style. We actually just recorded a new song the other day. So I'll go ahead and play. Let me see if I can find this. I'll play you a mix of that while we wait. It's a pretty cool song. Play it in the background. We also just recorded a freaking rad video that I directed and filmed. Shout out to my editor for putting it all together. But this is a cool song from a cool young artist here out of Moreno Valley, California. Is this guy Spyro the Seventh? So go and give that guy a follow. He's Play Me Skate is his Instagram, and you can find him on Spotify and all these streaming services. Spyro the Seventh, one word. This guy's dope. But check this, I'm recorded, mix and mastered this one.
I'm walking in my body, but I'm walking as a spirit, sharing how we are living as some biggest. By the time I finish with you, we in his
this brute is going down.
Becoming princesses and princes make the
pretty easy, man.
Right in the track. It's amazing that y'all don't even think about.
So I'm still looking for a sponsor for our show. I'd like to find somebody from the area. I really like
I just seen
the almond champagne I had at the last race. That was great. I believe that was Wilson Creek, if I recall correctly. Chandon, of course, man. Holla at your boy. Like Chandon. I almost bought a Chandon for today, another California one. They got a black label one that looked good, but I don't know, want to try something different. There's a winery out here called Thornton that makes a traditional champagne. So they use the old way, and they're really old bottles. So I think I'm gonna go there and check it out. But I definitely want to try one of theirs, and they use the traditional old ways of making their sparkling California wine. But they might even get some of their Eau de Bois from Champagne. So I'm not sure if it's allowed to be called a champagne or if it is still a California sparkling wine. Which, if you don't know, California sparkling wines are pretty fire right here.
Woo-wee. Woo-wee. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
That's the track.
That's the track. That was a new one from Spyro. So just playing a little bit of music for you guys while the session is red flagged. Russell's back in his car. He's pissed. You can see it in his eyes. You can see all you can see is his eyeballs because he's got his visor flipped up. But yeah, that guy looks mad. So let me see. I'll play another one from. Let me see. What do I got? Let me play some MC Life up in here. You see one that we dropped recently about Summer Madness. Summer Madness is a dope track. Shout out to MC Life. Yeah, I'll play one from this guy. A little something smooth. It was sunny today. So if you guys don't know, Southern California, it has been raining like crazy lately. For all you F1 fans joining us, the race is red flagged. Commentators are just chit-chatting. The drivers are getting back in their car. Right now, it is lap 9 out of 58. So I'm just playing some tunes while we wait. I don't want to get my stream pulled down for copyright or anything like that. So just playing some of the homies' music, stuff I mix and master. So don't fuck with me, YouTube. Don't mess with me, yo.
I'm telling all my people I don't want to be this famous. And the day I started doing
Yeah.
something different, yo, they faded. They hated that my life was not the way they want and think. I practice all my steps I need to take to be complete. So why would I be taking all this sand to the beach? Instead I pack a bow and say tomorrow I'll be free. You'll catch me on the scene. Hey yo, Bobby,
Shout out to Ascend Beats. Shout out to MC Life on the dope track. So this is the Fly Live Phil F1 show. Thank you to my viewers for joining. The race is red flagged. We're on lap 9 out of 58. I'll give you a quick recap. Charles Leclerc spun out into the gravel with a little bit of contact on lap 1. So he's out of the race. Albon, who's got a really fast car with the Williams, had a bit of a nasty crash right between turn 6 and turn 7. Took out the barriers. They red flagged the race, which really changed the race. So George Russell was in first place. Lewis Hamilton was in second. Max Verstappen was in third. Albon crashed in the back. It was just a safety car at first. So they pitted Russell to get some fresh tires. Hamilton took first place. And then Russell dropped all the way down to 7th place. And then after Russell pitted, they red flagged the session. So when there's a red flag, all the cars have to pull into pit lane and they stop. But you can actually work on your car a little bit on the red flag. So everybody got some fresh tires. Hamilton got a new nose cone. And I think he was complaining about his nose cone. So basically, Russell did a pit stop for nothing. Really lost out. But not only did at the time the race leader Russell, but also Carlos Sainz, who was up in like 4th or 5th place. So I'll give you guys the order right now. We've got Hamilton in 1st, Verstappen 2nd, Alonso 3rd, Stroll 4th, Gasly 5th, and the Alpine, Hülkenberg and the Haas up to 6th. Russell in the Mercedes 7th, Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri 8th, Norris and Piastri in the McLaren's 9th and 10th. Carlos Sainz, Ferrari, man, what's up? 11th place. Nick DeVries, 12th in the AlphaTauri. Ocon in 13th in the Alpine. Perez down in 14th. Guan Zhou Yu, 15th. Bottas, 16th. And this race is about to get going again. So let me turn off this music. Hey, that was Summer Madness by MC Life. So if you guys don't follow MC Life already, please go give that guy a follow because he's freaking dope. You will not be mad. But yeah, let's get this race going again. So
for the rest of the field, our expectation.
Get my driver tracker back up so I can see where everyone's at. All right. So once again, thank you to all the viewers for joining us. This is Fly Live Phil on the Fly Live Phil F1 show. Yeah.
It's a green light.
Yeah. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. It's a Fly Live Phil F1 show. Cheers. Yeah.
So good. When he was in 5th, behind Sainz, Russell was in the lead.
All right.
He lost a place on that opening.
Turn that off, though.
Went 3 wide, all bulked behind Verstappen and Russell's.
So here we are. Race is about to get going again. We are on lap 9 out of 58. Hamilton, 1st place. Verstappen 2nd. Alonso 3rd. Stroll 4th. Gasly 5th. Hulkenberg 6th. Russell down to 7th after leading the race on merit. Tsunoda in 8th. Norris 9th. Piastri 10th. Sainz 11th. So race is back on. They pull out of the pits. Man, yeah, it's going to be a safety car. I don't know if they're going to do a...
This is an opportunity.
I don't know what kind of start we're going to do right now. Let's see.
And we're looking at Fernando.
We were listening to the musical stylings of Spyro the 7th, an unreleased track you guys just got to hear. So, hey, if you guys are watching my show right now, you guys got to hear a dope new song no one's ever heard before. No one.
You pointed it out on the formation, that very quick pace.
So it looks like Hamilton just kind of gets a start. We're not doing a grid start. This is going to be a rolling start.
Pace in comparison.
We're going to hear from Verstappen.
All right.
Is it more than 10 car lengths?
Man.
Look, check it.
Not at 10 car lengths. Sorry.
Safety car light was out, I think. So Lewis can choose, because the standing start procedure is not the safety.
Hey, yo, Verstappen, man, that guy complains a lot. And it's like super annoying, dude. He's like a nitpicker. That guy's a nitpicker. So everyone in the top 11 are on medium or hard tires. De Vries in 12th on mediums, 13th Zhou and Ocon on hards, Sargent on mediums.
Yeah.
Everyone's on hard tires. So the hard tires can last through the entire race.
Now he's trying to build the temperature.
Now he bolts. It's crucial that safety car lights were out. I was referring to it.
I don't know what's happening right now. Everyone's just kind of cruising. The safety car lights were out. They're all trembling along. They are right now coming right through turn 12 up to turn 13. There's 14 turns on this 3.2 mile track, and Hamilton is pulling up to the 14th turn, and it looks like this is going to be a grid start.
So tough now for everyone behind who've done.
It's going to be interesting.
Going so slowly. Then
this was a really slow out lap, so there's going to be a lot of cold, hard tires. There are cars literally stopping. Oh man, people getting all out of order, almost crashing through a blind turn. Oh my God, this is the craziest out lap I've ever seen. This is the craziest out lap I've ever seen. So at turn 12, it's a blind turn, and everybody was bunched up. So these cars were hauling ass. They're going, 150 miles an hour, 130 miles an hour, because this is a grid start, and it was just the slowest out lap that I've seen. So there were almost accidents on the out lap because around a blind turn, the cars were queuing and cars were behind them just smashing. Oh man, this is
that will not affect how hard.
I don't know if this was
about to race each other all the way down to
something that merits a penalty for Hamilton or not, but we've got 18 cars on the grid, and we've got a grid start. Here we go. About to be lights out for the second time. Let's go, Hamilton. Hamilton got away well. Verstappen once again did not get away very well, and it looks like Alonso actually had a really good start too. Hamilton went to the inside to cut off Verstappen and easily stays ahead into the first turn, but there was a lot of action. And it looks like Russell actually has already moved up to 5th, which is crazy. He went from 7th to 5th that quick. So the Mercedes is a fast car. There's no doubt about it that the Mercedes is a fast car at this point. So, contact. Looks like one of the cars did a bunny hop. It was an AlphaTauri. I don't know who that was, but yeah, they're in the back. This is a crazy track. This track is crazy. All right, yeah, Russell moved up two places. So Hamilton in first, Verstappen second, Alonso third, Gasly fourth, Russell fifth, Stroll sixth, Hülkenberg seventh, Tsunoda eighth. We're coming up to turn 9, and Hamilton is a few car lengths ahead, but that Verstappen looks fast in that Red Bull, but yeah, the Mercedes is dipping. The Mercedes is dipping. Let's go, Hamilton. Let's go. This looks like this is an opportunity for Hamilton right here. This guy can
to the top 10.
He's quite a few car lengths ahead of Verstappen.
Verstappen just waiting to try and
but Verstappen might be biding his time. But Hamilton is nearly a second ahead of Verstappen.
Tries to get the restart more to his liking.
Interesting. And Verstappen's over a second ahead of Alonso. So these guys are pulling away a bit.
On to lap 11.
Australia is a crazy track. It's really narrow, it's really twisty, and it's really fast. So this is a great race to watch right here. Yeah, Verstappen though. I mean, starting on hard tires, that's weird. You don't see that at the start of a regular race. You know what I'm saying? So they have to do a restart on hard tires. Yeah, Sainz just throwing it up the inside at turn 3. Verstappen or Hamilton's already at turn 6 and turn 7. They're showing the replay right now of what happened at the start, and oh my God, Russell got an amazing start. I mean, Russell just the cars on the in front of him, he just passed the 2 cars in front of him immediately. And Lance Stroll was one of them in a really fast Aston Martin. So wow, that was great. That was great. And Hamilton just hung on, and Verstappen on the hard tires had a pretty poor start, and Alonso had a decent start. So we've got Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, Gasly, Russell are your top 5 drivers right now. And they're showing some of the replays. And Nick De Vries, tough go.
say, in the
he got
race.
some
Here we
contact
go,
on
Verstappen
that
Hamilton.
on that restart. So
Looking out of the commentary box position.
so we're on a lap 11 out of 58. Ooh, yeah, Nick DeVries' car bunny hopped about. The back tires are like 3 feet in the air. All 4 tires are off the ground on the restart. That was bad, and it was one of the Alpines that hit him. So I'm sure they had some damage too, because that was a significant collision. Verstappen is
He's got it now. So now he will get
6
the DRS.
hundredths of a second, 6/10 of a second behind Hamilton. He's got DRS in the next DRS zone, so we're gonna see the magic of Red Bull's DRS, which Red Bull has the best DRS system anyone has ever seen right now. Their DRS is just absolutely ridiculous. So we've got Verstappen
These two rivals
tailing Hamilton. He's
surely around the outside goes Max.
going around the outside with DRS. That was so easy. Nothing Hamilton can do. He was like 10 car lengths ahead of him in a few tenths of a second. I mean, it's not even. It's not.
That Lewis can do.
It looks like a F1 car against an F2 car. I mean, the difference in speed
It's easy when you can do it all on the
when that Red Bull opens its rear flap is just ridiculous. He went outside on a big turn and passed him that quick. That was nuts. That was nuts. Thank you to my viewers. Want to give you guys a shout out. Shout out to the I would say our sponsors, but I'm looking for some sponsors, trying to find that sparkling wine sponsor. Today we are drinking Segura Viudas from Spain. My Spanish is terrible. Sorry guys, straight garbage. Even though I'm half Mexican, but whatever. It is what it is. So once again, we're on lap 13 out of 58. This is a 3.2 mile long track. Verstappen's in first, Hamilton second, Alonso third, Gasly fourth, Russell fifth. And this has been a crazy race so far. Mercedes, they've got a strong car, but the Red Bull, oh my God, it's just so fast. I mean, Verstappen's pulling away from Hamilton. He's already 2.7 seconds ahead of Hamilton. So there was a red flag. They pitted Russell. He lost track position. Then there was a red flag. And instead of being a 1-2 Mercedes, it's Red Bull 1, Mercedes 2. We got Russell making a move on Gasly, just past Gasly into turn 10, it looks like, or after turn 10. Great move by Russell.
Yeah, it was a nice move there in the end. I was waiting for Gasly
definitely a nice move.
Show his nose on the inside, still at the apex of.
So Russell's up to fourth, right behind Alonso.
Russell did enough on the break.
So it's going to be interesting to see. Turn 3 incident involving cars 21 and 31. Ocon and DeVries reviewed, no further investigation. So yeah, that was at the restart. We got Sergio Perez up to 15th, but
Here's Perez.
I mean, his car is so fast. They say this is a tough track to pass on, but Perez is making some moves. We'll see how far up into the points Perez can get. But Perez is up in the 15th, starting 20th. 2 guys out, so he's really made three passes to get to here. Verstappen is dipping. He's pulling away. Hamilton second, Alonso third, Russell fourth, Gasly fifth, Stroll sixth. So we'll see what kind of pace the Aston Martin has with Stroll and Gasly. That's going to be an interesting fight. The Alpine is good on this track.
Just give it a whirl.
Ocon, even though he's down in 13th, he's got a fast car, so we'll see if that guy can make some moves or not.
Red flag as well, so I think he had a full restart.
We will see. Yeah, there's aside from the Red Bulls, car is competitive, except for sorry Bottas, but the Alfa Romeos are having a bad season so far. And although Norris is up in P9 right now and Piastri's in P11, McLaren has been pretty slow this season so far. But so just to catch up, we are on lap 15 of 58. Albon and Charles Leclerc are out. Charles Leclerc went out on the first lap into the gravel pit on turn 3, and Albon went out on lap 8 or 7. I think it was lap 8. Albon went out in the gravel pit on turn, or right between turn 6 and 7. And it was a bit of a high-speed crash. He was smashing out. So glad to see Albon get out and that he's okay. So We were on lap 15 of 58. And Verstappen's pulled out a 3.3 second lead on Hamilton. So unless there's some action in the race, it looks like this is going to be another one of those races where Verstappen just dips out on everybody and the actual race is behind. So, it's a race for second place, essentially. Although the Mercedes in Hamilton's hands is 4.8 seconds ahead of Alonso. Perez is making some moves, man. He just passed Magnussen, who's up in a eighth, and he's on a high speed, narrow part of the track on a turn, going around Magnussen. So on that turn, Perez had a lot of trust in Magnussen's hands that he didn't go wide on that turn. And fortunately for him, Magnussen didn't. The seasoned old hands of Magnussen and Perez. There are a lot of great old guys in Formula One right now. Cheers to the old guys. And by old, I mean younger than me. But Hamilton, Alonso, Checo Perez, Magnussen, Hulkenberg. These guys are all up there. These are all dudes in their 30s.
Still, it's not getting away from Gasly. Sainz, you got nose cam on.
It's been
Gasly and
beautiful to watch.
In the Mercedes, who's had an impressive restart here, 7th up to 4th, made 2 of those places into turn 1.
All
Made
right.
another one on Gasly, but the Alpine
So once again, shout out to Segura View. I'm saying that terrible. Segura Viudas. Viudas.
Lewis Hamilton is 1.1
I suck.
seconds. He's
Spanish is terrible for me. I'm going to work on that, though. I'm going to work on it.
Rivals. We've seen 2 old rivals go wheel to wheel earlier on. Hamilton versus Alonso would be a lot closer. We'll remind you what we told you earlier in the broadcast. The Aston Martin race pace in the simulation that we saw in practice was very strong. It's
All right.
once
Lap
again.
16 to 58. Verstappen has a 3.5 second lead on Hamilton. Hamilton has a 4 second lead on Alonso, and Alonso has a 6 second lead on Russell.
Joe. Might have been Joe. Sorry.
Hmm.
It's up to
Interesting.
30.
Yeah, that's Joe. Oh, he's got it deep.
Lock up at 13.
Yeah, that seems right.
It's all okay
Yep.
there for Checo. So he's making his way through. 13th there.
So for those of you just joining us, this has been a bit of an eventful race. We had Leclerc
on the brakes, but Joe
crash out on lap 1, Albon crash out on lap 8.
You got no chance.
Verstappen's leading. Russell
Let alone Joe.
pitted right before the race, got red flagged, and he really got burnt because he was in first place. And that kind of burnt Hamilton too. So, it was a bit of a roll of the dice. Who would have known it would have got red flag, because it didn't look like a red flag type of crash, but they red flagged it. So, whatever. Sorry, Mercedes. I'm wearing my Mercedes AMG shirt. It's a W13 shirt, which should have got the W14. I didn't notice that, but got to get a new Mercedes shirt. Because this year's car, a lot better than last year's car. No porpoising. No porpoising this year, fortunately.
Not just about race position, this is personal.
Alonso's the fastest man on track as well, was 0.3 quicker than Verstappen on the last lap. Hamilton sliding coming out.
Cheers to everybody watching.
Feel the pressure in the Aston Martin, and
This is the Fly Life Phil F1 show, live commentary. I watch a race. I tell you what's happening. I play a tiny bit of audio in the background. I know you guys want to hear these car sounds, right? I mean, nothing sounds better than a Formula One car except for a really good rap song. Really good rock song, I should say. It's analog. Oh, God. Oh, God. George Russell's out of the race. He has fire like the Batmobile coming out of his exhaust right now. It looks really crazy. This is a bummer. Russell's having a terrible day. Yeah, his car's on fire. So I'm hoping he pulled over right near the end of pit lane. His car, as soon as he stopped, major fire. Hopefully Russell can get out quickly. I don't see anybody with okay, the fire mellowed out. It's just a little bit of plastic burning now. So Russell is safe. He's out of the car. His car is burning though. So finally somebody got there with a fire extinguisher and they're going to spray that out. Hopefully. First car failure of the race. Virtual safety car. So George Russell, he stopped at the end of pit lane. So he actually stopped in hopefully a good spot. It's a safe spot. Yeah, man, you could see Russell. He just lost power and then his car just caught on fire. It was
Interesting that he tried to
quite a bummer. That white smoke you never want to see. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, Russell.
George Russell having a terrible day, man. That guy went from
Amazing start
being on the front row
had a
to
Mercedes
being
two, how
in the lead of the race,
change.
clearly leading the race, to getting called into the pits on a safety car, to the session being red flagged and he lost track position for no reason, to his motor blowing. Dang. Mercedes, hopefully this is a one-off. Yeah. Hopefully it's a one-off.
Already at that point, you can hear that engine is
Yeah, not sounding right. He got passed by a few people before he was sure what was happening, and
frustration kept him out on track
Yeah.
for optimism, but quite
man.
clearly that was.
All right, so to catch you guys up on where we're at, Verstappen's in the lead, Hamilton's the second, Alonso third, Gasly fourth, Sainz fifth. So this is a virtual safety car. So basically, you have to throttle back by like 30%, something like that. You can only do your sector times at about 65% of what they normally are. So technically, the person behind you is not supposed to catch up to you at all. It almost freezes the race and the gap between the vehicle. So virtual safety cars ending. They rolled since he stopped at the end of pit lane. They rolled Russell's car back to the Mercedes garage, which is lucky for them. They get to start taking that thing apart to ship it.
With lots to enjoy and the green flag.
And we just got a green flag. So we're on lap 19. I believe after virtual safety car.
Yeah, copy those. Yeah.
I believe.
No, his tires are going to make it all the way to the end.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're planning for all eventualities.
This is interesting. So we're on lap 19 and 58. They're expecting
Sergio Perez immediately on the edge.
They're expecting
This is Ocon ahead.
all these drivers to go 50 laps on a set of hard tires, which
French Racing Glue.
Pirelli says these tires can go the whole race because we're on the C4s and we're in Australia. It's a low abrasion, not too many high-speed turns, I guess, track. So they say that these tires can last the whole race. So we'll see. We'll see.
To improve on that today. Hamilton on the radio saying that Alonso was quick. Alonso really did eat into Hamilton's advantage on the Aston Martin.
Yeah, so Alonso's only 1.1 seconds behind Hamilton, so he is flirting with DRS zone, and that Aston Martin is a fast car. So this is what is really a bummer for Mercedes this year. The Mercedes is
not leaning on it too much, and he's managing the gap right
yeah,
now.
Hamilton's
Or
kind of
Aston Martin
digging
are
into
a whole load
Verstappen's
slower. There's the Red Bull out front heading
lead
towards
as
the
well right now. So
Then the
Verstappen is 2.4 seconds clear of Hamilton, and Hamilton's 1.3 seconds clear of Alonso. So obviously, Hamilton picked up the pace over the last lap, but he's pushing it. And like Hamilton said, he's got to make these tires last 50 laps. So he's got 38 more laps to go on the same set of tires. That's a long time. That's a long time.
Has DRS as well, so he's going to have to work a bit harder to get past.
This is all behind Sonoda. So you got Sonoda 9th, Piastri back into the points in 10th then. The,
Wow.
The Aussie
Piastri back up to the
racing on
points.
soil. He's close
Sonoda the
to
9th.
now as well, but I don't think he's close enough for
Norris
for
8th,
turn one.
Hulkenberg 7th, Stroll 6th, Sainz 5th, Gasly 4th, Alonso 3rd, Hamilton 2nd, Verstappen typically in the front this year, and that tradition continues.
Totally different approach.
So if you're just joining us, lap 21 out of 58, Albon and Leclerc crashed out. Leclerc crashed out on lap 1 and turn 3 into the gravel pit, and Albon had a pretty high-speed crash between turn 6 and 7th, ended up in the gravel pit backwards, rolled backwards into the track, nearly made contact with an Alpine, and was able to inch his car at least a couple of feet forward, so he was almost off the track, and that led to a red flag, which really cost Russell big time. And then Russell's car broke down, so Russell's in the pit, it shows, but he's actually out.
He's done it again, Sergio Perez at turn 9.
And Perez is he's just going for it. Perez started in P20. Perez is up to 11th, but he's got a Piastri and Sonoda ahead of him who are battling, which drew in Perez, and they are both sitting ducks in front of that Red Bull, which is so fast. Clearly he has DRS, and their DRS is so fast, man. Sonoda and Piastri are going for it. These guys are battling, dude. They're in Australia. Piastri's Australian. And he's putting in work, man. He's putting in work. There's a lot of fast cars, but none faster than those Red Bulls, I'll tell you that much.
Normally, as Julian knows, you wouldn't really want to risk it. There, you would maybe want to.
Dude,
wow, that is brave.
Perez put a lot of trust in Ocon, man. He put a lot of trust in Ocon that he knew he was there, number one, and that he wasn't going to go wide on that turn because
You're not expecting the lunge, really, the dive that Perez had towards
Perez
the
is, he's making moves.
But Ocon had his wits about him, knew that the Red Bull was there in the end. And didn't
We're on lap 22 out of 58.
Right, same corner. With
Perez
Alpine.
wants a P2. He wants a P2 so bad, and he's hoping that the stars align, and he gets a little bit of luck to help him move through the field and get up there. So supposedly, Australia is a very tough circuit to pass on. So this was supposed to be a lot of work for Perez, and they're saying, you know, do you think he can get some points? How many points do you think he can get? They're asking Christian Horner before the race, and clearly Perez is going to get some points, and he's so fast compared to everyone else. Even in the DRS train, his car's 5 miles an hour faster than other cars with DRS, like at least that much, probably more. I should check the driver data and see what these guys are doing on their speed. Let me see.
He's done the inside. He's done the outside.
I pull the
That's really, really good commitment from Perez. He's had enough of
Yeah.
running around with these midfielders. He
Great
wants to get
race
back towards the
so
front.
far.
This is the guy that's 1 point off the championship lead. And it's a
data
good
tracker
series.
is not showing
Minimize the damage, let's not forget.
top
Get back
speed.
to a fourth, fifth in that
Hmm.
Red Bull when he gets a bit of clear air. He should be quick.
I think I'm going
So
to
he's
watch a little bit of
He's cleared Piastri and Ocon. So
uh,
in the AlphaTauri, that won't be
kinda wanna see a little bit of
similar to Verstappen on Hamilton.
Sergio Perez, but now I'll stick with the main race. So, all right, we're on lap 23 of 58. Verstappen first place, Hamilton second, Alonso third. Hamilton's 4 seconds behind Verstappen. Alonso's 2.5 seconds behind Hamilton. Looks like they all got the call to take care of their tires. Fourth place, Gasly. Fifth place, Sainz. Sixth, Stroll. Seventh, Hulkenberg. Eighth, Norris. Ninth, Perez. 10th, Sonoda is your top 10. And Perez has been working his way through the field. He's 5.5 seconds behind Norris right now. So he's got some work to do before he catches 8th place, but Perez is smashing out through the field. Albon and Leclerc are out. Charles Leclerc crashed out on lap 1 at turn 3. He got hit by Stroll, turned into Stroll maybe. I think it was more of a turned into Stroll at turn 3 and got pushed into the gravel. He was out. That caused a safety car. And then Albon on lap 8, I believe it was, lap 7 or 8, turn 6, hit the Tech Pro and spun into the gravel. And that was a red flag, which ruined Russell's day. Russell was in first place. They pitted Russell. Hamilton went to first. So Russell came out in 7th place. And then after he did that, they red flagged the session. So when you get red flagged, you have to pull into the pits and everyone can change their cars and fix little damage on it. So basically everyone got a fresh pair of tires. He lost his total advantage. Either that was a lockup or some smoke coming out of one of the Ferraris on lap 24. That was kind of ugly. So yeah, Russell lost his advantage. And then probably in around lap 20 or so, maybe lap 19, Russell's engine blew and he stopped in the pits and they had a virtual safety car. So Hamilton's on the radio. He's complaining on lap 25 about his tires. So everybody at lap 8 put on hard tires. These tires are supposed to last 58 laps, and Hamilton's complaining about his tires are already getting bad. I mean, these things have been on for 17 laps. They're hard. They're supposed to be able to last the whole race. He should be good, but they're saying they think it's a bluff. Carlos Sainz making moves. He just got past Gasly on lap 25. So the order is Verstappen first, Hamilton second, Alonso third, Sainz fourth, Gasly fifth, Stroll sixth, Hulkenberg seventh, Norris eighth, Perez ninth, and I don't know who's in 10th. They changed the screen. Yeah, I do. Sonoda, 10th place in the points still. Started in the points, still in the points for Sonoda. All right, so I always drink a bottle of champagne while I watch Formula One, and today we are drinking Segura Viudas from Spain. Never seen this bottle before, never tried this sparkling wine before, so Saw it at La Bodega in Riverside. I was like, let me get that. Let's try that out. It's really good. It's a brut, which is my favorite type of champagne and sparkling wine.
Now he's into fourth, and he's not miles away from the top three.
So every race, I drink a different bottle of sparkling wine or champagne. Looking for a sponsor. Thornton Temecula, hit me up. So we had Chandon race 1. We had, which is a California sparkling wine. We had a Wilson Creek, which is a California sparkling almond champagne, or sparkling wine, excuse me, from Temecula, which was great. And then today we're doing the Segura View This, which is also a sparkling wine from España. Lap 26 out of 58. Sonoda's 10th. Piastri 11th. Ocon 12th. Zhou Guan Yu 13th. Magnussen 14th. Sargent up to 15th. So we're in the middle of the race. Pretty much everyone on hard tires, and pretty much everyone's trying to make it to the end on these tires. A few of the back runners, the guys from like 14th through 18th, all those dudes pretty much did a different tire just to switch the strategy up, see if they get lucky, but we'll see.
It was all a bit late as Ocon tries the Perez line.
We'll see.
Is he going to be able to sweep around the outside?
Wow.
What a move, Esteban Ocon.
Yeah, Esteban Ocon on lap 26. Just made a big move. Beautiful move. Up to 11th. That was nice. Yeah, there have been some great overtakes. This looks like an old school racetrack, I tell you. So if you haven't seen the Australian track, check that out. Watch the fastest lap on this track from last year. You'll be pumped. But it's a really narrow track. There's a lot of blind turns where you can't see, what's coming around these curves because of the Tech Pro. It's a narrow track. There's grass and there's gravel. So if you make a mistake and you go wide or you cut it a little bit too close, you could easily dip a tire into the grass and spin out. And then big old school gravel traps with thick gravel in the high speed turns. So if you mess up going into turn 3, turn 6, you're going to get in the gravel. You're going to beat your car most likely, and your day is going to be done. So they do a good job of keeping these guys from pushing it too hard on this track. It's a really fast track, 3.2 miles. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for checking out the Fly Life Phil F1 show, everybody who's watching. So normally, if you look at my graphics, Fly Life Phil is on the right, and Dilly DS17's on the left. I think might be backwards for you guys. I don't know. So typically, I have a co-host. Just turned 11, and he streams on Twitch regularly. Check him out, Dilly DS17. My co-host is my son, Dilly Dill. But he couldn't make it tonight. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night in Southern California is when this race started. Prime birthday party time of day out here. So he's at a birthday party for his little cousin. Happy birthday to Delilah. So Dill could not join us tonight. So it's a one-man show, which definitely changes the dynamic. We'll get him back on here for the next one. We acknowledge these races are global and happen at weird times of the day. It's part of being an F1 fan. It's one of the cool things about being an F1 fan sometimes. It's screaming and yelling at 3:30 in the morning USA time, California Pacific Standard Time, like a crazy man. If you're a Formula One fan, that happens. So, cheers to all my fellow Formula One fans out there. And I have a meetup for Riverside. So if you guys are interested in watching races together, let's do it. Let's rent the Mission Inn out and drink champagne and take Ubers home. Or limos. We should just rent a limo. Everyone get a ride home in the limo. That could be good. All right. Lap 29 of 58. Verstappen, P1. Hamilton, P2. 7 seconds behind. Alonso, P3. 2.5 seconds behind. Sainz, 1.8 seconds behind. In fourth, Gasly, DRS, 0.8 seconds.
He's not. He's only 3 tenths slower than Verstappen. But what we saw yesterday was the field spread was so tight. I mean, Hulkenberg at one point was
Been a good race. You know, Verstappen has the fastest car. Verstappen is
within a tenth and a half or a couple of tenths of the Ferrari.
definitely one of the best drivers.
And I think that's partly why
So
he's right there with Sainz as well. Within half a second.
Red Bull has a clear advantage.
He's not gaining as much as you'd expect after watching the first 2 Grand Prix on Norris and then Hulkenberg.
Here's an opportunity for Oscar Piastri, the home
Yeah.
favorite, looking to bring a cheer.
Piastri making moves, trying to get back into 11th. He just did, past Tsunoda. So 10th place, 11th place, 12th place. It's a big battle. Piastri, Peugeot,
Get himself back into the battle for points.
What's more important is that he didn't do that. When
fastest lap to Verstappen at 1 minute 21 seconds, 0.77.
Now he's got to try and attack again.
21:21.77 for Verstappen.
Then Ocon basically showed him the way.
And he's on hard tires that are 22 laps old.
Factory in Detroit all on this straight.
With still a bit of gas. We're about, halfway through the race, 29 laps.
It is, but I think we're seeing with the consistency of the passes there, it's almost as if the DRS effect is just too much in that area of the racetrack. But it is giving us some great entertainment.
We're on lap 30 of 58 for those of you just joining us. Albon and Leclerc out of the race. Russell also out of the race. Although the graphics show Russell in the pit, they pushed him back into the pit and his car was on fire and he's out. So the graphic is wrong. Russell is definitely out of the race.
So hard to pass here. I mean, no DRS for a
Lap
long
30
time.
of 58.
DRS came in, and then I see another little puff of smoke off the back of Sainz there. Is he? Is it just a
Yeah.
curve, or-
Strange.
His pace is okay with Alonso. It's just the
Very
racing,
strange.
the pink out feed right back
Second
in.
time somebody saw some smoke coming out the back of the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Because I thought I saw that earlier. He was near the edge where there was some sand or something, but I don't think it was dust. It seems to be
Tsunoda, he's the driver ahead.
smoke, which is not good.
D light flashing, the D rating, bit of energy recovery for the Japanese driver, who's trying to just stay in the mix and hope that there's another intervention on the safety car.
Yeah, at this point, the race is just getting dull.
Last year, not with the ability.
Not a lot of action except for probably like 7th through 12th, the best of the rest going for it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about who's the best of the rest. I mean, best team, clearly Red Bull. Second best team, that's where it's interesting, kind of between Mercedes and also Aston Martin and Ferrari. I mean, it's crazy that the best of the rest starts at second place because it's just such a clear advantage for the Red Bulls, and their car's so fast on the straights, which there's been a lot of fantastic technical articles out about the Red Bull, and they call it the triple DRS. If you haven't seen triple DRS, check that out. So when the Red Bull opens their rear wing up, it changes the characteristic of the airflow, and there's a couple pieces on their car that take advantage of those characteristics. So when that airflow changes off of the that flap being open, there's some little bits that take advantage of that, and they get a little bit more slippery, so it just moves more air off of the car, which is fantastic that they were able to do that. Such a rad way of thinking about the aero, and I think that's potentially going to be the future of aero, is understanding a little bit better how they can have extra bits that do something at certain times or certain setups, I guess. So really interesting to see Red Bull doing that. So they call it triple DRS. When they open that flap, the wind profile changes and the other little bits just get a little bit more slippery, and that car is way faster than everyone else with their DRS open.
And in the end, almost sort of drove towards the back of Tsunoda.
And over the last few years, we've seen DRS trains is what they call it. When you have, multiple cars within a second of each other, they all have DRS except for whatever car's in the front, and they call it a DRS train. And, they kind of lose their advantage on each other because they all have DRS. But if you have DRS and Red Bull has DRS at the same time, they're still so much faster than you. It's not even close. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's beautiful.
Turning it on now, isn't he, Alonso? I think they've all been
Lap 33 of 58. they're showing the pits. I think that was that swimmer dude. I think that was Michael Phelps.
Surely this isn't the
Probably
trailblazer
wrong.
Mercedes
I don't
that we're
know.
seeing. I think he is. Well, he's clearly managing, as we've just heard.
So for the Australia GP, I guess there was a few stars out there today.
In Bahrain, he sat behind the Mercedes for a long time, and then he went on the rampage, passing Hamilton with that
The
move.
Brute.
Another one
It's
of
good.
2023 great moves at turn 10, and then did the same to Sainz into 11. I think now is the time that Fernando's just thinking, I've got to do something here if I want second place.
Hamilton responding with the fastest first sector of the Grand Prix so far. So it might have been a fluff, but Hamilton just showing what the Mercedes is capable of doing out there. A bonus point for fastest lap, currently in the possession of Sergio Perez.
Shout out to my co-host Dilly Dill at a birthday party for Delilah.
2.3.
Having a blast. I saw a video of Dilly Dill doing a front flip. It's pretty good. I might leak it. We'll see. It's good though. I don't think he'll be mad if I do. Oh man. Lap 34 of 58. Nothing's changed. Right now, everyone's just kind of cruising in their spot. The only cars that are close is Guanzhou Yu and Magnussen are pulling up on Tsunoda in 14, 13, 12. Tsunoda 12, Zhou 13, Magnussen 14. Bottas is pulling up on Sargent for 15th place. Gasly's on Sainz. He's got DRS. It's within a second.
Conversation there between Lewis and his engineer would confirm to me that
That's
they're very much focused.
Gasly's in 5th. Sainz is in 4th. Verstappen is 8.8 seconds clear of Hamilton in 2nd place. And he's 1.5 ahead of Alonso. So this is an interesting race between Hamilton and Alonso right now. So Hamilton's 9 seconds back off of Verstappen, but Alonso is pulling up on Hamilton. He's kind of been sitting in like a 2-second little window. So it feels like they're both taking care of their tires.
Not going to be able to use that degradation advantage they've got. So Alonso's got to keep pressing Hamilton. So Hamilton has to keep leaning on his tires in the Mercedes. And
That's interesting.
them up a little bit for later on.
So Alonso is kind of feels like he has less of a degradation problem in his Aston Martin than Lewis Hamilton does in his Mercedes. So Alonso's putting a little bit of pressure on Hamilton. They're saying to keep him moving and hopefully tear his tires up more than the Aston Martin, but we'll see. We will see. Supposedly it's a low deg track, and qualifying was really interesting because people were doing multiple flying laps on the same set of tires in qualifying yesterday because it was a lot colder and made it crazy. There were so many people on track at the same time.
And Stroll. He was quicker than all of them on the last lap.
So Australia is a bit of a strange track because there's so many blind turns. And Hamilton, after the red flag, they did a warm-up lap and then they did a grid start. So on the warm-up lap, Hamilton went really slow. And I think it was a strategy was to make Verstappen's tires get super cold. I think they figured out the Red Bull just doesn't do well on cold tires or something. So Hamilton had the slowest out lap. So on some of the blind turns, the cars in back didn't know that the cars were queuing ahead of them. And I think it was Magnussen came around a blind turn and all the cars in front of him were stopped. So Magnussen cut the corner and it was a gravel corner and potentially damaged his car on an out lap before a grid start. It was crazy. That was the craziest thing I've seen. So we'll see if there's some review afterwards because some people were complaining that Hamilton went too slow on the out lap after the safety car was called in and caused everyone to get cold tires and therefore cause that queuing, which almost caused a huge accident. That was a trip. Never seen that before. I'm just giving little recaps of things that happened earlier in the race because at this point, this race is super boring. Hamilton is 8.8 seconds behind Verstappen. Alonso's 1.6 behind Hamilton. So the fight for the podium is real. So from Hamilton to Alonso, there's just in third place, it's about like 3 seconds. So even Sainz is really close to a podium. They're showing Danny Ricciardo on TV. He's a backup driver for Red Bull now. So he's still in F1, hoping to get a seat next year. But lost the seat to McLaren. Piastri got that, so
Was indeed. Speaking
they replaced
earlier in the
a
weekend about wanting a return, he said
an Australian with another Australian.
the feeling of whether he wanted to return.
Shout out to the Aussies,
Sitting
you
out,
shoe drinking
the
motherfuckers.
seats available to him on the grid. He wants to be fighting.
Not doing no
at the front
shoes.
of the field for podiums, and he will be.
This is brand new with a plastic liner.
Season resumes, trying to get a place back on.
Has champagne in it.
Yeah, I heard him
I don't
say
think
that,
about it.
and I've got to say, for me, it was kind of extraordinary. for
Just
him
kidding.
To go, yeah, it now confirmed
Probably
that
still
he
won't do it.
wants to race in Formula
But if you put like American Coors Light or Bud Light and something like that, that's worthy of a shoey.
years against Lando, who
You could shoey that shit if there's a
But
new shoe.
I just wouldn't have imagined at that stage and age of his career, he would be doubting that he wanted to compete in Formula One.
He has 2 such rough years, splintered by a shock win in Monza.
Shout out to the maker of this great
Beaten up.
sparkling wine, Segura Viudas. My Spanish is garbage. Sorry about that. From Spain. If you guys don't know, the Fly Life Phil F1 show, we do live commentary for every race. We talk about what's happening. If you're not watching, if you don't got cable or you don't got F1 TV, you can log in here and listen to us talk about the race, and I'll give you, basic recap. So we're starting to see some of the people on the, I guess it would be 3-stop strategy now pulling in. So Logan Sargent pulled into the first after the red flag event to come in and get some tires, but he's in last place, 17th. We're on lap 38. Verstappen's in first place. We just saw him set a new fastest lap, and they're showing the current tires. Verstappen hard, Hamilton hard. He just took the fastest lap. First through 15th are all on hard tires. 16th, De Vries is on a medium still. Sargent is on a hard. Just switched to a hard, which I just assume they're getting data on it.
You guys are quick behind me.
Oh yeah, so Hamilton just keeps saying that. Hamilton just keeps saying that the Aston Martins are behind him. He's cruising and just took the fastest lap, basically. Although he's 9.3 seconds behind Verstappen, so Hamilton got a fastest lap right now, but Verstappen is still just pulling away. Half a second a lap, it feels like, over the last couple of laps. And Alonso's just sitting like a second behind Hamilton, and Hamilton's pushing to stay ahead of Alonso. If things stay as is, this is going to be interesting into this race for the podium, because Sainz is right behind Alonso and Alonso's right behind Hamilton. They're all like close, touching distance of DRS range right now, which is cool. This is good. Setting up to be an interesting race for everything but first place, unfortunately. But yeah, Verstappen just took the fastest lap back on lap 39 right now. Actually, on lap 38, he pulled a 121. Sorry, I didn't see. 121.31. And Hamilton is almost 10 seconds behind now. So still, Verstappen pulling away on lap 39. Hamilton about 10 seconds behind. Verstappen's pulling out a half a second a lap lead on Hamilton, just about. Alonso is sitting about a little over 1 second behind Hamilton, like 1.2, 1.3. And then Sainz is a little over a second behind Alonso. So these three, I think they're saving something. Like, we're on lap 39 of 58. It appears that they are, just keeping their tires alive, and they're going to play the degradation game, or they're waiting for something to happen and get a faster pit stop, or.
I think I'd trim the DRS zone back a bit. It's the first
But they're
year
just
that
cruising.
We've had it in operation for the race here. And there's
Looks like Hamilton's going to get it the fastest lap back, because he is
through 7 and 8, the
taking
curves.
some time out of Verstappen's lap time significantly.
You're also coming off
Unless Verstappen just slowed down a lot.
quicker than it was.
Pull up my
when I was racing.
driver
And,
tracker.
It was last year it was changed to be
Actually,
opened up.
my
So
track
the
map.
speed that you're doing is big, which means the DRS effect is pretty massive. Which is a
So
great
I do
angle.
want to give a huge shout out
I think
to
slightly-
multi-viewer. Damn, if you guys don't know about multi-viewer, we're on lap 40 out of 58 right now. The Australian GP 2023. Verstappen's 9.5 seconds ahead of Hamilton. But if you don't know about multi-viewer, you're an F1 fan. If you got F1 TV, I know you ain't watching me right now, but I'm gonna start posting some shows and just starting some ish on my Southern California perspective behind Formula One and what's going down. On my show, we drink a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine, critique that, watch a race, critique that, give you guys live updates, critique myself, and enjoy this Formula One race right now on a Saturday night. So it's 11:20 in California right now. I'm in Southern California in Riverside in my studio, chilling. WarmItUpChris.com. Check us out. But yeah, I'm in SoCal, and it's Saturday night, and I'm watching a race right now. So I'm really happy because I watched qualifying this morning and then watched the race this evening, which was good. So cheers to all the Formula One fans around the world. And thank you for tuning into the Fly Live Fill F1 show, where we do live commentary on the full race. So we are on lap 41 out of 58. Verstappen just took the fastest lap on lap 40. It was a 1:21.7, I think. So he's lapping faster and faster, pulling out 9.8 second lead on Hamilton in second. Alonso is 1.8 seconds ahead of Alonso. And Alonso in third place is 1.6 seconds ahead of Sainz in fourth place. And Gasly's approaching Sainz. Gasly is in fifth place, and he's in DRS zone. He's 0.7 seconds behind. And Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin is in sixth place, 2.2 seconds behind Gasly. So there is a fight for the podium. The podium is not set. There are a lot of cars that are moving quickly right now. So this was a really interesting race because it was cold all weekend. So all the practices and qualifying were in either rain or like high moisture, low temperature sessions. And that's just the way that it worked out this weekend. So they got all their data in cold temperatures. And then today it's a really sunny day in Melbourne. It's fall out there right now. They're moving into fall. And they moved the start of the race back. Australia used to be the first race. Now it's the third race. So it's a whole month later into fall in Australia. So the season changes there really play part of this weekend for the last couple of years, which is kind of cool. Lap 42 of 58, Verstappen, fastest lap, 120.9. He's 10.1 seconds ahead. So all these cars were on lap 42. The top, 6 cars are just cruising on their tires, staying in striking range, and keeping something in the tank for later. So we could be in for a really exciting end to this race, at least for the podium, if things stay as is. So I'll run through the order. We're on lap 42. Verstappen where's Verstappen? He's in first place. He's coming up to turn 9 right now. So he's 2/3 of the way. He's coming sector 3 right now. Verstappen is about to start lap 43, and he's in first place, 10 seconds ahead of Hamilton. Alonso 3rd, Sainz 4th, Gasly 5th, Stroll 6th, Hülkenberg 7th, Norris and Perez 8th and 9th. Perez is approaching Norris, about to make a pass on him right now. We're just making his pass at turn 9, coming up to turn 11. There's DRS on it. Looks like Perez is right on his tail. Strike. He's so close. He's on his bumper. Perez and Norris are pulling up to turn 12, turn 13, a big left, a tight left. Yeah, so Perez is on Norris, trying to get up to 8th place. So it has proved to be pretty correct for the second half of this race so far for Perez. It's a tough track to pass on. He's having trouble making it through the field. Once Perez got up onto the best of the rest teams, McLaren, he's had a tough time moving up through the pack. So,
Plenty of podiums before he got his chance at Red Bull. And
fastest lap is with Perez, though. So
to 8th in the third.
I think he was also managing his tires and just kind of biding his time to get through the field. Perez is just past Norris now.
But a number of drivers that have sort of
Perez up in 8th,
and then very quickly popped out again.
Hulkenberg is in 7th, and he's only 1.2 seconds ahead of Perez. So Hulkenberg's next.
I think Ron Dennis was.
And then we'll see what kind of pace the Red Bull really has once he starts approaching Stroll. Stroll's in a fast car and Gasly's in a fast car, it looks like, in the Ferrari and in a Mercedes.
2003. This is the move for Sergio Perez. And Lando Norris knowing it's better to tuck into the DRS and try and be pulled up to the back of Nico Hulkenberg.
I mean, there's honestly nothing he could do there. Perez has set the fastest lap back to back with DRS, so that shows the.
Once again, thank you for joining us on the Fly Life Phil F1 show. Shout out to my co-host, Dilly Dill. Couldn't make it tonight. It's Saturday night in Southern California. The race was at 10 o'clock our time. He was at a family party for one of his little cousins tonight, and he was having a blast and doing front flips on the trampoline. So shout out to Dilly Dill for landing the front flip. He's got the video to prove it. He's pretty pumped tonight. We'll post that next show. Put it in the commentary.
Like he was not quite comfortable. Here, he's again not.
We'll put it in the Racing 5.
There's a showing of promise.
We'll do the Racing 5, all clips of this.
Sort of tone for what we
So lap 44
gets a few more races
out of 58 on this 3.2 mile track in Melbourne, Australia. The third stop out of 23 in 2023. This is a great track. We're watching Perez move up from 20th to 7th right now. It's been a pleasure to watch in this ridiculously fast Red Bull car. The DRS technology on this car is insane. Like they're changing the game. Bull has such a tight team. It's a pleasure to watch, but dang, if you're not a Red Bull fan, it's tough to watch at the same time. But they're pushing the sport, definitely.
Talked about the tire
They're triple DRS.
for all the drivers, but this is still a very
And two
strong
great drivers.
for the Haas and the McLaren.
Even though Perez, man, he had a really tough weekend. He had a really tough weekend. His car was not set up too well for him. He was pretty bummed out.
13 laps to do it. He hasn't got a huge pace advantage on it, but he'll certainly be pushing towards
So
that.
other than Perez moving through the field, like this race has been
Perez was mighty close to the wall.
kind of boring for like, I don't know, 10 laps or so. They're smashing, but everyone's just taking care of their tires, trying to make it from lap 8 to all the way through the end of the race on hard tires, all the competitive cars at least.
Back there, back into pass and repass, which we saw
Every car except for Nick DeVries in the AlphaTauri is on hard tires right now.
Norris working nicely through.
Most cars are on basically a two-stop strategy. They stopped under the red flag on lap 8 and threw on some hard tires. So these guys are trying to go 50 laps on hard tires, which that's a lot of freaking laps on the same tire.
Did enough there to just stay
So we're going to learn a lot
DRS.
about which cars get high deg and
You need time to try and neutralize.
but yeah, 50 laps on a hard tire, that's gnarly. That's a lot of
He's
laps.
just on his personal best lap of the race. So the lap after he's been overtaken, and look, he's still there with Perez. The DRS is
They
so
do say that the
powerful.
C4, which is the tire compound they're using this weekend, could go the whole race though.
Norris is there. They've all
Pirelli
bumped
said
up.
it'll go
Perez has come through, swept past
more
both
than
of them.
58
It's
laps,
just driving them forward.
which that's also crazy.
Hulkenberg chasing his first points.
It's not even the hardest tire.
The Nürburgring.
So if you're new to Formula One, usually there's 5 tire compounds. This year there's 6 tire compounds. So they have a C0 through C5, and you get 3 tires for a weekend if it's not raining. You get X amount of soft tires, X amount of medium tires, X amount of hard tires for the whole weekend. So you get to do some testing on each one. You get to do some qualifying on whatever combinations you want, and you have a certain amount allotted for the race. So it's up to you on how you use your tires too. You want to burn out your reds in qualifying, do it.
Explained that's worth up to about 9/10 of a
So that's really interesting. But this year they have 6 compounds. Last year they had 5. So they picked 3 tires in a row out of those 6 compounds, and those are the 3 for the weekend. And you have a softer, a medium, and a hard. And, hard tires last longer, but they're more slippery when you just put them on. They take a little longer to come up to temperature, and they're just not as fast, period. Your medium tires, they are what they are. It's a Goldilocks tire. It's in between. You get good traction on the slow start. You get good traction out of corners and in your braking zones, but they don't quite last as long as a hard tire. And then you get your soft, which is you get a lot of good traction. You hit your brakes, your car stops. You hit the gas, it sticks. You go around a turn a little faster, it sticks, and your car still points in the right direction. Red tires are, great for traction for the weekend. Those are the softest ones, but they just don't last as long. So you get to use any combination of those 3 tires over the weekend.
Big moment. That's got to be Max Verstappen.
Yeah,
off
Max
the ropes.
Verstappen,
There was a
he just got
noise
sideways
from the crowd. We cut to a
around.
red shot. Max Verstappen weaving.
He's had a spin. He's had a spin.
Verstappen's car's messed up. Something's wrong with Verstappen.
And I think he's just had a spin, lighting it up out of the final corner. There was grass on his car as he was rejoining.
Let's have another look.
Whoa, where'd that happen?
To 13, and this was very nearly the race.
Oh, wow. He went deep
Last corner,
into
and onto the grass.
out of turn 13 into turn 14, into the grass. Yeah, it looks like he locked his rear brakes on lap 48 or the conclusion of lap 47. That was really interesting. See, man, that was crazy. That's why we watch Formula One, because shit just gets crazy. So let's see what the gap is from Verstappen to Hamilton.
Hamilton's within 8 seconds of it. So that was a bit hard to mount.
Yeah, he lost a couple seconds.
And it shows he's pushing. That's an interesting indicator.
Yeah, and now after that spin, or excuse me, after Verstappen had a dip into the grass and came across, his car doesn't quite look as good. They're showing Kylie Minogue on screen, Grammy Award-winning singer. I don't know whose garage she's in.
They teed that one up, didn't they? And then it didn't come out.
They were desperate.
I think Kylie Minogue's about,
Everything's still in the balance. Lewis
I'm
Hamilton,
not going to say it.
7 seconds away. We go on board with Lando Norris, who looked for all the world like he was about to nerf Nico Hulkenberg through the corner. Perez is
Yeah, this track, they're showing it on board with one of the McLarens right now. This track is just, it's a proper racetrack. They just showed him smashing down the pit straight. And it's maybe 3 car widths on the track, grass on the side.
Since 2019, can he keep?
It's a gnarly track just to keep it on the track and out of the gravel and out of the grass.
I don't think he can.
And then not
I don't think he can.
hit someone. Oh, big snap. They just showed one of the McLarens getting sideways. That was Norris coming up on Hulkenberg, it looks like.
1 second DRS window.
So that must have been turn 5. Yeah, Norris was, man, they cut to Norris on Hulkenberg racing, and yeah, he's pushing it right now.
Just to clarify what I said about the podium, on the podium across the season, not at this.
He came out of turn 5 sideways, I will say.
He's using a lot of that curve, getting ever more aggressive as we tick down
Norris
the
on
laps.
Hulkenberg, he's right on him, making a big move.
Closed firmly in his face, but he will not be
between turn 10 and turn 11.
Norris trying to soar his way by. No room at the moment.
No, he'll also not be very happy. It was quite a late move from Hulkenberg. I'm not sure there's enough.
That was
Well, there's too many laps for him to be able to keep that up until
we're on lap 50 of 58. So after Verstappen drove through the grass, they're showing Norris trying to make a pass on Magnussen back at like turn 10. Ooh. Yeah, Norris almost rear-ended him. Hulkenberg, he almost rear-ended him. That was crazy. This is a gnarly track. You have to really choose the spots where you pass, because it's a narrow, fast track with high-speed turns and just grass on the side.
Good job, hang in there.
Beautiful track, though. Beautiful weather today as well.
Yeah, what it has done, though, is made Lando aware that
Melbourne, Australia. Australian GP 2023. Fly Life Fell Off One show. Thank you for everybody who watched tonight. Appreciate you guys. We'll get this posted up as well. Every race, I get a bottle of champagne or sparkling wine. We've been doing all California sparkling wines until today. We did a Spanish sparkling wine, and it's a brut, and it's delicious. It's a Segura Viuda, so shout out to those guys. We're on lap 51.
A little bit careful, they don't have Ocon coming onto them. There's only,
we've got, 8 laps left to complete, and first place is clear. Verstappen, if nothing changes, he's got this race in hand. And the race is really between Hamilton and Alonso, 1.5 seconds. Sainz, 2.7 seconds behind Alonso. So the podium seems to be set, but
car, as you said, DC.
We'll see.
And that's the reason that he's not able to even look at a move into turn 9 with that huge
Hmm.
DRS zone, the high top speed. Even with that, Hulkenberg's not got DRS. He's not going particularly quickly now. 5 seconds behind Perez.
Yeah, Russell
The second chance of the DRS.
got the short end of the stick on this day.
So much into turn 11.
Perez is in 7th,
Howdy, watching on
2.7 seconds behind
for the Haas Formula One.
Stroll in 6th.
Smallest team
So
in terms
Perez has a
of
chance of getting up to
Once
6th.
again, we're back to
Then he's
turn
got 2
nine.
more seconds to get to Gasly. So
Where it
we'll see
really
what
gets
Perez is lapping at. Verstappen has the point for fastest lap right now.
in the wheel tracks.
I feel like Verstappen's just trying to bank every point, period. But honestly, I don't even think Perez could take the fastest lap from Verstappen if he wanted to on this race. Oh, geez, that was gnarly. Hulkenberg, he just got he dipped his rear left tire in the gravel, and that was on turn 12, and he was sideways in the gravel for a second. That was gnarly. He skipped on the track and just barely hooked that car up and saved it. And that's a high. He was smashing right there. That could have been bad. They're going to show a replay on that. They're showing right now Norris. Ooh, one of the Haas's. Yeah, Norris got up the inside, and Hulkenberg just looks like his tires were kind of out of the window. And ooh, that was gnarly. Hmm. Ooh.
Just not able to park it on the apex of 11 really gave Lando the undercut opportunity.
But Lando got the place. Lando's up in 8th, Hulkenberg in 9th. Every point is critical for McLaren at this point in the season. Like, they've had a pretty poor start. Today they're performing much better in Australia. Yeah, it's been a good race. It had a kind of a boring kind of 15 lap stretch, but damn, we might still be in that boring stretch. Let's see who else is close to making some moves. Guangzhou Yu, 13th on 12th, Magnussen, whatever. The top 10 cars, they kind of look to be set in their place at lap 53 out of 58 on this 3.2 mile circuit. Verstappen in 1st on lap 53, Hamilton 2nd, Alonso 3rd, Sainz 4th, Gasly 5th, Stroll 6th, Perez 7th, Norris 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Ocon 10th. That's your top 10. Piastri is 12 seconds behind Ocon. So if there's no safety cars, no breakdowns, no crashes, this race looks pretty set as far as who's in the top 10. Verstappen has the fastest lap as of lap 53. Perez has been pushing. They've been kind of battling for the fastest lap. Hamilton had it recently at one point. So we've got a hard tire that just blew out. So that hard tire they say could last a whole race clearly could be a problem as Magnussen is crashing out on that hard tire. Oh man, he pulled off to the side, but he pulled off to the side in a cutout zone. So, and his tire is on the track. His tire completely blew off and fell off. So that's a bummer. So see what happens. At least a safety car.
You got damage. Rear suspension broken.
This will at least be a virtual safety car. I mean, there's a tire on the track, and some poor guy has to go run and grab that thing at the minimum. At the minimum, they're showing the walls. Looks like there's some tire tracks on one of the walls. Maybe where his tire bounced off the wall or something, but Magnussen's rear suspension broke. So 4 cars out of the race. Full safety car. Full safety car. Those Pirellis that are supposed to last the whole race, Magnussen could not make them last 50 laps out of 58. So, I mean, maybe he ran something over. Who knows what the actual cause was, but tire blew after a lot of laps. Yeah, safety car is out.
from K-Mag. Question is, how quickly can they clear this car?
Hulkenberg
Laps are counting
just
down.
had a
This could finish
great
with
quality weekend. Oh, Mercedes. We got Hamilton coming in. Hamilton's coming in to get some fresh tires. See what he gets. Somebody just left the pits. I don't know what car that was.
Race neutralized.
Someone on the back lap, maybe. I don't know.
Drivers at the front aren't going to take a risk.
Sorry. Hamilton is not pulled into the pits. The Mercedes team is out, indicating they're going to box, but we have not seen Hamilton pull into the pits yet. And Hamilton just passed the pit straight, so this could be a bit of a tactical strategy to try to get Verstappen to dip in, but we'll see. Hamilton's got to go all the way around the track. He's barely coming up to turn 5. Ooh, yeah, Magnussen hit the wall. Let's see. Let's see what happened with Magnussen. Oh, he just went really wide and just happened to touch the wall.
Painted Pirelli logo down there on the exit. See it again, see it in real time. Wait for the noise.
Oh, yeah. He hit it. He hit it at a good amount of speed. Oh, yeah.
Maybe a lapse in concentration for him late on in the Grand Prix.
That was interesting. Yeah. So Pirelli, I am so sorry for what I just said. My previous statement regarding the condition of the tires. The condition of the tires had nothing to do with what just happened on lap 54. That was driver error, it appears. That Magnussen actually just hit the wall.
So much debris out here.
Oh,
Yeah, just make your way through.
a lot of debris out there. Yeah, there really is a lot of debris out there. There's carbon fiber all over the track. That's nuts.
Or does he want to
Huh.
to get racing again and have a sniff of a victory? Surely you'd take a chance of a race.
Red flag.
Red flag. Oh my God. I got to finish this bottle of champagne now. Can you believe that? Lap 55, red flag. So what that means,
In the grandstands. on
everyone's going to pull into pit lane, line up. They're all going to throw on a pair of soft
neutralized race once
tires.
again, and we have an
Hopefully they have a pair of new soft tires.
The crowd were applauding.
And we're going to have a drag race for the last 4 laps.
And you think then the
3 laps.
damage of the stricken cars don't
Yeah, the
warrant
last
red
3
flag,
laps,
but we're gonna
probably.
have a race to the checkered
Laps.
flag.
I don't know if
Yeah, it's
they
not
pass the
what we
checker
saw
flag right
last year
here.
where we finished under
Go to lap
safety car.
56.
It's going to be finishing with
Hmm.
a wheel-to-wheel battle with
Interesting.
everyone in it for 2-3 racing laps.
There is precedent for this.
Everyone's low fuel.
Verstappen had a tire blowout in Baku. We had I would say 2-lap shootout.
Yep.
With Perez losing the lead.
Yeah, this is a huge dynamic change. Hamilton's taking his steering wheel off.
Had no front brakes, sailing on by at turn 1
I don't know if he's getting out of his car or not.
in the year. By the end, that was the day where Perez
Yeah,
was able
looks like
to,
he is. They're
take his first
taking out the padding around
red
his
flag.
helmet.
But the recovery vehicle on the circuit
Hmm.
gives us a red flag and gives Max Verstappen his
This
first
is-
race in about a
This is crazy.
How are your racing
Red
cars?
flag.
How
Lap
are your race
56.
starts? For Max, they've not been great so far today. First start, Russell came through on the inside when he was starting on pole with the Mercedes next to him. That's what we've got now. In between that, we had Hamilton on pole with Verstappen next to him, and Alonso made the slightly better getaway but couldn't take the place.
So Hamilton looked like he was thinking about getting out, but
Not
it
been,
doesn't look like anyone's getting out.
been a clear run
I think they're
down.
waiting for the FIA to give them a notice of how many minutes
Alonso will probably
until
might fancy picking up some
the
pieces.
race starts
But
again.
Lewis Hamilton, this is a real chance of
And we'll
winning
see if
the
anyone
Grand
hops
Prix
out
again.
and takes a piss or something.
I don't know if they'll have time to have DRS. I don't think they
Oh,
will.
okay, let's see. We got Sainz climbing out of his Ferrari.
Might be a bit negated as well. Notice
So-
me driving,
There's one guy hopping out of his car, stretch his legs a little bit.
elbows out.
So if you don't know, when you're in a race car, you are strapped in so tightly.
Say
Like your
goodbye
ability to
Australian
move and
Grand
stretch or
Prix
just do anything is like
because that
ridiculously
has been
limited.
shut
You're
out
strapped in so tightly to the car,
for just the second
the car
time
feels like part of you. It's a
recent
trip.
Formula
It's
One
crazy.
history. We're going to get a late restart. Verstappen
Hmm.
talking to
Yeah,
teammate
Verstappen's out of his car,
Weekly on the left.
having a chat. I don't know if they're allowed to like run and use a restroom because they weigh in before they get into their car, and then after they get out of their car, before they take anything off or do anything, they're supposed to get weight on the scale. So I always wonder if these guys are allowed to just like take a piss real quick. Verstappen's taking his helmet off. Lap 56 to 58. I mean, these guys know what to do. They're on a set of hard tires, or excuse me, soft tires, the red stripes.
We did have a significant moment at the race.
Red flag. Red flag, drive directly to the pits. Do not stop in the box. Stay in the fast lane.
He need red flag.
Second red flag.
Flags to slow down. What?
Yeah.
Red flag. 1 lap. 2 laps.
Will they restart this?
I can imagine they would.
That's the team radio to the drivers that were very, very happy with where they were at. The race leader, Alonso on the podium. He sounded very content with that podium.
That's crazy.
Just drive to the podium.
That's crazy.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so everyone's got their helmets off,
We're racing.
toweling off.
Not good for those guys who thought they had
European dudes having an espresso.
We're coasting through. Hamilton's the one
We're
where
drinking sparkling
he
wine
didn't have
today.
sense of victory. He was in second place. I don't think a second would be a great
Next
result
race,
for
I'll get some
Lewis,
champagne.
but He's here for wins.
We'll go to
And he's
France.
on the front row as well. For Alonso,
We did California, did Spain
is hard.
today.
The cost of a
We'll go
podium
to
is
France.
greater when he's in
I
third.
think
He's got Sainz right
That's a
alongside
good
him.
odds. 1 out of every 4 should be a
Yeah, those two
champagne.
nearly wiped each
I mean,
other out down to turn 3.
Because why not?
First of all, we were focusing on
So
the
23
contact
races.
Stroll, but ahead,
That's 5,
those two were
maybe
very,
6,
very close to
depending on how we make the
having
call.
same
Bottles of
contact
champagne.
that happened a couple of moments ago.
They got George Russell,
Klaxon for you.
some nice sunglasses on,
Again, and
got his
just
jacket
make sure
on.
you're back in 10 minutes time, because we're going to go racing again.
looking comfy.
It's going to be an
in the
incredible finish
tracksuit, on the
anyway.
track.
Verstappen deals with the pressure and
I gotta
collects
get a
the
Mercedes
within his
tracksuit.
grasp. It's going to be a job well done. Hamilton hasn't won since Saudi Arabia and that unforgettable night in 2021.
Such a bummer what happened to
hoping
Russell
for
today.
drama ahead and his first victory in a decade. Sainz, having had Gasly for company for the entirety of the middle stint, might have Gasly for company again.
Yeah, the pit lanes look crazy.
The
pit straight. There's just carts of tires and blankets all over the place. A mass of people all over the place. Race car drivers, assistants,
Oscar Piastri with nothing to lose, P11.
Honestly, I think
personal
so many
trainers.
drivers are happy to just call it there. Pretty much all of the
All the
teams,
cars getting
Perez
worked
will be
on.
pleased to have a chance at trying to go
Duct tape
into
getting
the-
added.
His last race start was
Brake
pretty bad.
ducts
Full team, he actually dropped
getting
backwards.
fixed.
So he might undo a bit of the work.
George Russell's got some fly shades on. I don't know what those things are, but they got like gold condors on the arms or something. It's like inlay. That's a pretty sick shade.
Neither here nor there for him.
4th and 11th, the
Check that one out.
What's happened?
Second, I'm not sure. Hamilton, I think, surely the racer. in
Hamilton
Lewis
drinking some
Hamilton is
water,
about
checking
this.
his ride out. He's standing right next to his car, talking to his
He has indeed.
strategist,
Lewis Hamilton.
trying to see what the plan is, drinking some water.
Last year for
He took the water bottle out the car. I'm sure it's going the last little bit that he's going to get.
began in 2007.
Alonso just chilled in his car.
Past that man.
I don't even think he got out. He's in 3rd place right now in the Aston Martin.
Incredulous
Beast of a
on the
machine.
radio.
So I was talking a little bit earlier about how the Mercedes
Hamilton has a
is
medium tyre. Alonso has no new Pirelli rubber available.
was at least the first 2 races a little bit slower than the Aston Martin. It seemed like, which is crazy because the Aston Martin has a Mercedes engine in it. So if you're the Works, the Skunk Works company, and you're making the engine, and the company you're making the engine for, or the team you're making the engine for, turns a faster car out of your engine.
Sitting in,
Yo.
we're going to be racing again in not too long. So
That's like AlphaTauri being faster than Red Bull or some shit, kind of.
Verstappen,
I mean,
race leader.
beep.
Work yet to do.
Let's get it, guys. Let's get it.
But for that lockup at turn 13. Max
So
Verstappen
lap
had this
56
race won.
out of 58. We have 3 laps coming up on soft tires. Everyone's putting their
Found his way back.
fireproof mask on.
Hamilton's been
Those ones
feisty
are cool.
with
I gotta get one of
already.
those.
Not in the eventual pass for the lead, but
For
in
the
that
go-kart
move
track.
second on the first race start. That was a
SB Raceway, San Bernardino Raceway.
Max tried to fight.
Shout out to
And
those
look at
guys.
team radio.
Might go there tomorrow.
Laps ago that he was forced wide.
I'm gonna go there
So he
tomorrow.
didn't seem to take any care of that one. I agree with them. And it all was forgotten, right?
Shout out to those guys,
It was
but
down to this
yeah,
last 2 laps.
56 and
What is
58.
it?
Everyone's putting soft tires on their car, guarantee. We got 3 laps. We got Hamilton's already in the car. Verstappen in first place. George Russell's watching, talking to Danny Ricciardo in the middle of pit lane right now. Really cool sunglasses on. He's like, "What's up in Australia tonight?" Ricardo's like, "Hey, I got you, dog. Yeah, I know where to go. Yeah, it's a spot in the mountains. It's crazy. Some F1 stuff, man. Watch. I'll text you. Oh, you looking fresh? Yep. Pop Russell's collar.
His work's done for the weekend. He can, like the
Russell's all
rest of us, enjoy
smiling,
this
cruising
final
around.
shootout and see what happens.
You can't be smiling. You got 0 points today, man. You're supposed to be pissed off, even if you got nice glasses on like that.
And then it all came undone with, well, first
Just kidding.
Flag
He
Fernandez
might have smoked up.
with his fiery power unit as he
Cigar already.
Nice graphic there.
I think if it's a red flag, that's when I smoke, right? Last red flag I smoked.
Jack Brabham became a racing driver.
This red flag I'm
This day
smoking.
In 1926, it is a replica of his steering wheel, awaiting the
Loaded,
winner of the
loaded,
trophy.
loaded. Shout out to MC Life.
Verstappen, Hamilton, Alonso, or are we going to see one?
I never smoke when my host is here.
History of this race, the 26th running in
But
this
I do
magnificent
have some
city,
sparkling wine or
this racetrack
champagne.
where you have
Every
to say
race,
in modern
drinking a
times,
bottle.
It was an event that didn't have the spectacle to go with it. Not the story today. And that's before we get to a 2-lap shootout to decide the winner of the 3rd Grand Prix of the year. USOFT's available for everyone in the field. And it is a choice now of which tyre do you go for. You don't even really go for a new medium, but I think they'll all be on the soft tyres that they have available. This is going to be
Sorry,
finish. Here's the
that's
moment
my girl calling.
that gave us the grandstand finish. Kevin Magnussen.
Magnussen hitting the wall. Boom.
Swipes the wall, doesn't he, with that right rear.
I would like to formally apologize to Pirelli for
You're trying to get on the throttle.
saying anything
There are times it's wonderful
untrue
to be able to broadcast to you
about
wherever in the world you may be
the amount of
running.
laps these
Times
guys
where
could
I
put
wish
on
I
these
could
tires
be
this
in living
weekend.
rooms, or if you're stuck
Initially, I thought it was a tire block. Everyone said, "Oh, his tire broke," but no, Magnussen hit the wall.
Well, you know what was great? When
Driver
when
error.
GP was on the radio to Max,
Pirelli's
saying red flag.
Probably were gonna last through that race.
The crowd, as they obviously like us.
Yeah, everyone knows there's gonna be a shootout for the last
You could
3
hear
laps
the
now.
cheer, and Max would have just heard a cheer
So it
with
goes
his
from
ears.
seeing what people's race pace is like to seeing what people's
GP, his engineer,
like
saying
2
red
quali
flag,
laps
gotta
look
do a
like,
restart to
because they're gonna have enough
the reaction.
gas in their
And that's
car
well done
for
to Melbourne.
3
We've
laps.
had a
I don't know if they get to
very
take fuel out or,
Australian
but
Grand Prix.
they're all on
It's
low
all time
fuel. That's for sure,
It's
and
always a vibrant
they're all gonna
scene.
put soft tires if they got them,
Always fantastic. There's been over 400,000 in for the weekend.
unless their car's faster on mediums. But we'll
One of the
see.
best in the season. And
The grid is
race day with it
packed.
as well.
If
The
you can't see
track is
this, if you don't see this,
the extra DRS zone.
there's so many people on the grid. They're starting to roll the carts back into the garage. We're getting close to the restart of this race on lap 56. That Mercedes GT coupe with the gold wing doors probably is the safety car. Beautiful whip, beautiful ride. But it's crazy to see that
Tell you what, also
specimen
the
of a
sun goes
machine
down. Look at the sun there.
going around this track
To Carlos Sainz's eye.
and how sideways it gets compared to
When I
an
was there
F1
in
car.
2016, we had a long red flag.
It's
which
nasty.
Flipped his way through down on Gutierrez at turn 3. Huge crash, caused a lengthy delay, and the last laps, the sun is going
Man.
down. It's right in your eyes as you
The sun is going down.
And your
I don't know what time it is in
reference
Melbourne, but it is
as you're
looking
seeing
like
the
Sunday at 5 to me.
visor on, as you can see on the helmet of Piastri there. They've all got a bit of tint trying to take the shine out of your eyes.
Looks like any
But it's
minute
gonna
they'll
be with two
pull the
flags in this
blankets
one,
off of the
and
tires, drop these
it's
cars down, and
ending now with the
let these
setting
guys
sun.
run.
Heading up towards 5 p.m. local time.
I wonder if their blankets are battery powered.
And that's going to be
They
right
must
in
be.
their eyes for turn 1 and turn 3. The crucial parts of the last phase of this race, the start and then the next big braking zone. They're going to be cars all around them.
Thanks for joining the Fly Life Feel Off One show.
The real
Appreciate all my viewers who popped in tonight
This Grand Prix used to
for
start
the
an hour later.
commentary, the live companion show
Reason that you mentioned, because the sun was too low.
for the 2023 Australian Grand Prix. Quite a race. It's been brilliant, as these dudes would say.
And historically,
A lot of dudes gave it full beans.
for the last few laps anyway, because it was so difficult to overtake, and you wouldn't be thinking about doing a race start with 2 laps to go on this.
The Brits love them some Formula One.
You would be half asleep. You'd be concentrating because you're in a Formula One car, but you wouldn't be thinking, wheel-to-wheel battles weren't as
Full beans. If you don't know what full
they are
beans
right now.
is,
We've seen overtakes from lap 1 to lap 50.
you shouldn't. Doesn't make any sense.
Normally you'd be a
It
little
means
more
they're
settled in your
giving it
car,
full
really, you're
throttle,
focused on the drive and keeping
putting the
pace
pedal
up,
to the metal,
keeping the tyres
as we would
alive.
say in America.
You would not be thinking about a race start with 2 laps to go.
So the Brits say,
The sun
they're giving it
is
full
on the
beans.
side.
USA,
Stands in the way
we
there,
put the
but
pedal to the metal, bro. Come
so
on.
much going on in this Grand Prix still.
That
90
kinda
seconds to
sums
go
up
until we trundle around to the
the
grid.
different versions of English.
Shootout
Clearly,
on this side.
American
Who is
English.
the replica of Jack
And
Brabham's
English,
steering
English.
wheel. And for
Not quite the
greatest
same.
crowd that we've ever had in terms of numbers through the gates for all
For
race
instance,
days, how they deserve this
If you
spectacle.
say
I imagine there
brilliant
are plenty of you disagreeing with that.
with an American accent, it sounds
I
weird.
like it as a
But if you say brilliant,
traditionally, this would have finished
it was
on the safety
brilliant,
car.
and you got that English accent,
It didn't the year before in Baku, but when
it sounds
F1 are
brilliant.
looking at ways of making the spectacle a
But
little
if you
better,
say it, they're
it's not
showing Sir Jackie Stewart. He's got the dopest
but you've just got to go
corduroy or
right
velvet
at the end.
green
Yes,
blazer
it's
on
under safety car, absolutely
with the
easily.
super nice like
But,
polo
at a
looking
time
dark
when
blue
we're
and
more sprint races and
green
ways to mix
striped
up the
fedora
better spectacle as well. Hey, we got it.
with the white shirt.
The race
He was
will
rocking,
resume
looked like
in
a
30
Submariner,
seconds
probably a
time.
Daytona.
The
Rolling
teams can do no more.
white,
They
gold,
have
and
made
gold.
their final tyre changes. And now, at 5 minutes to 5 local
Cheers.
time, we have a couple of laps to decide
Here we go.
the order.
Restarts in 15
Standard
seconds.
starts
Lap
at the same
56 to
event.
58.
Austria, 1987. Belgium in 1990.
They're going to do a lap.
Crash Fest
We're going to
in
get 2
Germany.
laps of
I'll
racing.
visit there.
And it's
the
going to be
last
a
time,
run and
Lewis
gun.
Hamilton won a Grand Prix.
Red tires versus red tires. So it's going to be interesting to see the difference between the Mercedes and the Red Bull off of the line and that DRS advantage. I don't even think there will be DRS. So we'll just see the advantage of Verstappen. Hamilton didn't get going. That took him a while. I think Hamilton had a trouble starting or something. And he's like 100 car lengths behind Verstappen right now.
Twilight here, staring into the 5 lights illuminating. Really good
Shout out to my
race.
love, my girl,
We
Karen.
had a frenetic start to this one.
Thank you for
George
calling me.
Russell taking the
I'll
lead.
put it on mute.
Then a pit stop and a poorly timed red flag from his point of view. Hamilton.
I think I missed her call.
Verstappen took it away from him, and then an
Happens.
entertaining Grand Prix with a charge through the field, an impressive one for Sergio Perez, up 13 places. Lando Norris made 5 places, up
Cheers.
to 8. And it will be interesting to see who can take advantage of this late opportunity. There's been plenty of grip down there.
This late opportunity.
Long.
Track should be rubbered in,
A launch that earlier
been
on
warm,
Verstappen was not
but the track
accurate.
is cooling now.
Standing start procedure.
I should
Going
look
to
to
be
see what
win
the
number
track
37
conditions are. I think I
Verstappen.
shall.
Going to be a first win since 2021 for Lewis Hamilton, or does Fernando Alonso end a decade of pain and stand on the top step?
Here we go.
Here we
Safety car
go.
lights come off as they did for Hamilton.
Safety
on the
car
last
came off.
start, and Max at this point can choose the pace. All about your tyre prep now. All on the
Yeah.
softs. The prep will be
This
easier
out
than it
lap,
was
it's
when we
all
started on
about
the hard tyres last time.
Can your tires in the range and
Your reaction time to the lights going out crucial, and then blending
being
them
strategic as
properly.
to how long you sit on the grid and see what the other guys do.
Is going to determine the end of this Grand Prix. Surely it's going to be the major part of it is getting into turn 1, having conviction on the brakes at turn 3, and then it should funnel out, and maybe you can gain or lose 1 position to the rest of the race. We're only going to get a couple of laps. It's going to be frenetic.
And we thought the hard work was done in the commentary box today. Not the
Yeah,
case.
everyone was on the
Lewis
soft
Hamilton
tire.
break new ground once again and take the win record out even
So they're just doing the warm-up lap right here,
And he do so. Will Alonso be in the mix?
trembling around.
Speculating. 33 soon is 33. Win number 33 today.
This isn't a hard one. This is
They're
the
barely
joy
coming
of
up to turn 13, the last left-hander, then into turn 14, the very last turn, which is a right-hand turn.
That we live for
and they're going to line up on the grid and have
You
a.
know that these are the moments that you live for as well. Formula One at its finest coming your way
Excuse me?
in a few moments' time. They are standing around Albert Park for the strangest of spectacles.
Wow.
2-lap
Wow.
shootout to decide the winner of the Grand Prix. We have been here before in
Excuse me.
Formula One. We have seen Verstappen and Hamilton do battle like this in Formula One. It's
Yeah.
tires across
This is
the
crazy.
board for the drivers in the field.
Last time it was Hamilton in the front on really old hard tires, and Verstappen with.
Leave maybe drivers at the back, maybe Bottas and Sargent have new softs.
How's your nerve as well? Can you
And Verstappen
do
with
all the precision,
fresh,
do everything right?
soft tires behind.
Start of a Grand Prix normally you got 57.
This time
laps
it's
to correct it. Now
Hamilton
we're
behind on fresh softs and Verstappen on fresh
big
softs.
pressure moment.
We'll
I've
see.
never really seen
Well,
anything
lap
like this to
57,
show you that it is game on
formation
at the
lap,
end
no
of the Grand
DRS,
Prix.
2 laps of straight racing.
Cheering before we've even got
They're
the
about to go
lights.
hard into
What
turn 1 right now.
in Melbourne.
This is epic.
Stand by for the third
This is epic.
start of the
see.
Australian Grand Prix.
Lights out. Oh, Verstappen got a good start though, man. But Hamilton's start was also good. But Verstappen got ahead real quick. Verstappen's right behind. Alonso's looking fast. Big lockup. Alonso got spun out by the Ferrari. Stroll moved up into third. Damn, that was gnarly. Yellow flag. Big crashes. People on the grass. There's a broken Alpine on the straightaway. Yeah, this is ugly, man. Fuck. Stroll deep in the corner. Chaos. Yeah, they're not going to do red flags again. Do restarts. Everyone balls out. There's broken cars everywhere.
Chaos.
There's like
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4
are
cars.
pulled up here on the right-hand side. One
Both
after
Alpines
another.
totally
Gasly
crashed
and
out.
with
Both of them with
everywhere.
broken front right suspensions. Tires flipped upside down.
Fighting with Stroll, and
The safety car stopped behind. Red flag.
So that's Alonso out of the points from third place.
Oh my God.
Stayed there in
So,
the but may well end up with a penalty for that one as well.
yeah, lap
Also,
57's
Lawson
done.
up to fifth.
Someone's
We have a red
beach in a
flag.
Haas, it looks like. No, that's an AlphaTauri.
Norris
Who is
in
that?
sixth. Piastri looks set to score points.
De Vries, Sargent, Ocon for sure. And then one of the,
The Alfa Romeos, who are at the back of the field, 8th and 9th.
yeah, that's it.
Perez was off the road scampering.
Mhm.
I have never seen
Yeah, that was
a more
nasty.
frantic start.
This is a crazy track, dude. This is a crazy track.
Huge crash that we had here.
I bet just driving a regular car. Oh, there's a Williams that's
And that
out.
is going
That's
to
Sargent.
create
Yeah,
a
for sure.
honest
Sargent
opinion,
Albon's already
a
out.
huge amount of discussion in the paddock after the race. Did we really expect anything else in terms of aggression? Here is the third start of the
Like
Grand
the straightaway, the pit straight,
Alonso
where
gets
the
a good
grid is
start.
at,
He's running
it's
with
so
Hamilton
narrow.
inside. It's actually Sainz
and then you
Gasly
come into
side
this
by
first
side.
turn and it's just
Sainz goes
gnarly. Like
up,
these are
Gasly,
huge
and
cars on this
Gasly
little
goes
bitty
up.
track
Sainz tips Alonso into the spin.
with the
Then
most
32
aggressive
out.
dudes on the
Couple of
planet.
close
Like, come on.
then afterwards, it's
They just
impressive.
every like
Renz Alonso, they both
4 cars at least came in way too hot into turn 3.
Alonso, then the 2 Alpines come
My
together
bad,
in the
turn
F1
1.
two. Perez out wide and goes through the gravel as well.
Yes.
In all of it,
What do you expect?
well, I think it's still in the-
Bam, 2 Alpines in a row just hit the wall in the same spot.
Here's the
That was
reaction in the Aston
gnarly.
garage as the podium slips
Oh
away.
man, so many
The other
cars.
one straight on at turn 3 as
Yeah.
well. Stroll
Alonso just got spun out.
at the next corner. Let's go on
This
board.
was gnarly. This was gnarly. Everyone was just stacked up and came in way too hot in turn 1.
No idea where to
Yeah, that's
Gasly
nuts.
rejoining.
No one had
These
grip.
two, Gasly doesn't know he's
Oh, the
there.
Alpines crashed into each other. One Alpine turned into the other Alpine, didn't know it was even there, and just bam! Took him out. That sucks.
Drifting across, having grass
Yeah, this was nuts, dude. Let's see.
Is looking and he's fighting with
Oh
Gasly. They
man.
both draw each other into going too deep.
Alonso turned in. Alonso went in too deep.
Right
Spaniards.
rear of Alonso. That's Alonso off. Stroll go off.
Sainz stayed on the track though, so this is gonna be crazy. So essentially,
He's going to go around the outside. He's going to have to
I
have
wonder
a
if
action.
whatever place you're in now,
Over the
because
ground he goes.
we're on lap 58 and all the cars are in the pit. So all they're gonna do is drive a lap around the track basically, and that's who will win. It seems like Verstappen's gonna win under caution.
Again, this late The restart procedure is under
And I really
investigation.
wonder if
And race control have a decision
unless there's
to make
penalties,
now
but
about where they go with this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do they risk this again? Do they count back? We'll leave it to race control.
I mean, what are they investigating now themselves for that
yeah,
decision?
lap 58 of
To have the
58.
restart? Or are they investigating all the chaos? The procedure is what's under investigation.
Yeah, this was
For the Alpines.
a questionable ending to the race again, and it's a call by the FIA. They were trying to be extra safe, but having a restart at this stage of the race
These two
turned out to be more dangerous and just dealing with that little bit of debris.
And maybe there were going to be fireworks. That was just a consequence of the concertina at turn one. That's not Gasly throwing an elbow at all.
So when was the red flag?
But I don't know. All you can do is be as
Was it
cautious as
blown
possible.
Early enough that they couldn't
So this
establish
is
the order off that start.
The third red flag of the day
That's how it
right here.
That's the next
It's
question.
crazy.
Like you had at Silverstone.
It's just
Precisely.
crazy. This track is
And that
crazy.
also, I think,
It's so narrow.
I
It's so
think
old school. These
very
cars are so
quickly, the red
big
flag.
and so
it may
fast
well
now.
be that for
I
all
wonder if
that
this track is just
we're gonna go back
too
a lap and
antiquated
see
for
if
modern
there's a
Formula
lot of
One.
odds.
If you've got a car underneath you that can.
If there's a
Like,
restart,
these are really tight
so
turns.
it may be that this
These
is all
cars are
about
so closely.
Stupid rule. How
Yeah.
the hell you can put a red flag before?
Lonzo's
Maybe because we
so mad. He's in 11th place now. One lap to go. He's not even going to get points.
bingo.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of conversation about this race afterwards because having 3 red flags and having a red flag on lap 56 for something questionable,
Red flag. So it's come out very,
and then
very
making these cars do another restart
The red flag is there.
to end the race.
This might all be an expensive lap of nothingness.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here we go. Gasly
Pretty
and
much.
Sainz drawing each
You
other
could just crash out. You could just crash someone out, and
Spin round Fernando.
that's what place you're going to be in.
Gasly's going to rejoin, and the crunch you can hear is his team.
Yeah.
As
sucked.
both Alpines
Ooh.
go into the wall and out of the race on the penultimate tour.
Why was this so?
Yeah, it's been
such madness. I'm
crazy. I don't know.
I know racing drivers are always a bit gung ho. They always want to try
Yeah.
and achieve something. When you
They're
got a
showing
race
Lawrence
start,
Stroll, the owner of Aston Martin, high-fiving his son, Lance
I
Stroll,
understand
just
why everyone's lost their heads in that manner. They're on the soft tires. They managed to negotiate it on the hard tires.
got
earlier
relegated
on.
to 12th place, basically.
You'd say they had
So
no
now there's
time at
8
all.
cars out of the race. Both Alpines on that restart are out. Nick DeVries in the AlphaTauri,
Just drive
Logan
off.
Sargent in the
Been
Williams.
that kind of weekend.
Those guys all crash out on one lap. On one lap.
This moment at 6
Verstappen looks pissed.
It's a low grip surface.
Perez looks
That's
pissed.
what
He lost some places
this weekend.
in that whole scuffle, just trying to stay in the race. Perez in 10th place now.
FP1 all the way through.
Now, I think basically
Very sensible.
whatever place these guys are in, they just have to complete a lap and then the race is over.
Ahead of their stations.
I'm so sorry. This stream's 2 hours and 12 minutes
That's
in.
what triggered the effect of, I think,
So this is a long time.
with
And we still
Perez
just have to do one more lap for the race to officially be over.
Why maybe Perez was going in a bit deep himself.
It's been crazy.
Places, but
This has been an odd weekend.
With Gasly, because Gasly was coming off the grass and was coming sweeping back.
I think moving Australia to the third
Having
race
the mirrors on his left and his right and ahead.
makes this whole weekend a little bit gnarly
I think, from that,
because they're in fall and it's just rained the last 2 years. And normally in the month before when they would have it, it was just a clear race, hot.
Of just outbreaking himself, which does suggest that he just didn't have time.
Good warm temperatures, coastal and Melbourne, but
Exact point of the red flag being
it
flown.
used to get a little bit windy sometimes, but
Max Verstappen.
this cold fall
turn 5,
Australian race,
That is
it just rains and everything's kind of wet and
So
the moisture's still up probably.
He cuts the beat.
but the whole field had to.
Yes.
It's a little windy there.
The race leaders, not the whole field.
But this was gnarly going into turn 1 off of the start. Just looking at the view from last place, which is the Williams, Logan Sargent just
The whole field did not do that.
slammed into the AlphaTauri and Logan Sargent just took out DeVries.
Marshall shoots
Yeah.
around the barrier, summing it all up. The round goes.
In last place. Dang, the rookie. The American rookie, dude. He was just fucking going gung-ho into turn 1.
Stuck in the traffic jam at turn 1.
Never seen anything like this. Watching everyone everyone's watching
Man,
this,
Logan
find
Sargent.
out what the order
That's like America commercial.
The lap cup's just triggered up to lap
America.
38. So I don't think we're going to get a restart.
We drink
At the end of
Coors
the
Lights.
What is the order?
We need
We know
beers that
Verstappen
tell
will
us
win.
that they're cold because we're too drunk to know if it's cold.
We had Verstappen and Hamilton starting sector 2.
Coors Light.
That's
America.
Yeah, you got to have the whole field.
Logan Sargent,
I'm pretty sure.
get it together, buddy. You're fast, bro.
And that is
You just got to
why
calm down a little bit.
That first start went to the bin,
Logan Sargent is
as you were after the big Zhou crash.
so fast. His
And that is what
lines, his breaking points, the car he's in has a high top end. He's just making some little mistakes here and there, but I'm sure he's learning from them.
If there's no restart,
And
there's no
I just want to see this guy stick around to see his potential
from running in fifth so well in this Grand
based
Prix.
on the first 3 races.
So take you behind the scenes now. To the
He's showing
commentary
potential,
box.
little
And we are
glimmers
waiting
of
for
what he
time
could do,
page
but we
one
need to see some
to
consistency
judge
as well.
into
That's
a
like the most important thing.
or a reordering of the order that we saw leave the pit lane.
But there's a
few
talented
minutes ago,
group of drivers.
grid
I
order
mean,
for the third start.
the
That's
talent
what we're
on the
waiting
grid
for. We're waiting for word
is
from the
all
stewards.
like top
Currently
notch.
having a look at
There's not a
one of
bad
the
driver on the grid.
wildest restarts that we've seen. And
And there's not as many like
conversation
wild drivers, you know.
debates about whether a
Roman
restart
Grosjean was a
that
bit of
late
a
is
wild
always
driver. He was like a
something
pitcher that could hit you in the
happen
eyeball with
back
a
in
high fastball or something, you know.
a right on this.
Just loose and spinning.
I forgot Bottas was here this weekend.
Latifi,
Qualified last out of 19. If you take
that guy
Renault
was
bit of
pretty
that. Have you
spinning.
seen him all Grand Prix?
That guy was spinning a lot.
We honestly haven't seen it.
Over the last few years, it's kinda-
I
other
wouldn't have
than,
even.
other than the restart we just saw.
I would barely have noticed
Ricardo,
him
he was
stop
spinning a
it,
bit.
and they just kept him in the garage.
That McLaren
I've not
too.
seen him the whole time. He's
A little
nice.
gassy,
He's going to earn
a little wild on the gas.
if this is the final result. He's
Hmm.
had a weekend to forget, but Alfa Romeo. because
Yeah,
of
are they
the
even going to do
sheer
the last lap?
that is
Or are they just going to call the race?
is in the
That's
top
what I'm
10.
trying to see right now.
Bounced across the gravel
I mean, we're
and resumed
2 hours and
start,
15
but that's
minutes
what-
into this event.
It's just absolute mayhem on that restart.
If you're at the rooftop bar
Quite possibly it is it's the sun in the eyes.
over the
factor,
straightaway, it
it's
looks like they're
and
still
it's
serving Heineken. So if you're watching this in Australia live and you're at the rooftop bar,
That was directly in the
they're
line of
still
sight.
serving
That
full
is-
brand new
that is a
Heinekens up there. So
feedback
get up there if you need a Heineken.
for the drivers.
Yeah.
Now we
Hmm.
are looking at the race control screen.
It's
to have an
very
update from
interesting.
them.
They're buckling dudes into their cars.
It is officially
They're strapping in Lance Stroll.
57. We did not take. all
They're showing the
cars
replay of
first.
Lance Stroll on that last
Preston
restart.
Silverstone 2020.
He was probably in 6th or 7th.
Expectation of
Came through the corner, made it pretty clean. Somebody tapped him in the back,
initially up to
made it
third
clean
place,
after
but
that, and
had a
then.
hit in the back.
Yeah.
Watch this.
But hey, he made up some
Side by side
spots. So
Then,
made up some spots. It looked like.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Oh, and then he drove off the track. Turn 3. He was up in 3rd, and then he was in
Out the exit of 2.
12th.
Felt like there was a
Damn,
noisy
Lance
exit
Stroll.
of 2.
Dang, man.
Strange one to go sailing by,
Got
but
so excited.
he's got away from it.
Yeah, he certainly didn't have contact at 3.
Yeah,
Did he have damage?
that was gnarly.
He just didn't
His
have
dad,
any
Lawrence, he's all up in the
stopping
engineering
power at
box.
3. There was no lockup. He just didn't have
Yeah.
any engine braking or any sort of stopping power there to get the car remotely turned in for turn 3.
They're
This is
showing
bizarre, isn't it?
Yuki Tsunoda right now,
It is.
up in
Got
5th
real
place,
wind
It has got strange.
standing next to his car. He's not even in
No one
it.
knows. No one knows. We would obviously tell you if we had an update. We've got Will
Oh man, no one knows what's going on. They're doing the wave in Australia. Everyone's like,
running around.
"What is this?"
The order has been removed from the screen. It's Mexican wave time at Melbourne. What an atmosphere this place generates.
They're showing the crowd doing the wave, and it's a big stand, and
End up, and the
it's
Mexican
making its
wave
way around.
completes 3.2.
Hey, they called it the Mexican wave, and I seen a Mexican flag pop up. Shout out! Formula One is dope. It's so international. It's cool. You get to see all these different cultures.
do it in
all these
Mexico
people
for
who
you,
are just
Frankie.
like,
We'll
man,
have a result.
die hard for their drivers or their team or whatever,
Norris still sitting in the car,
or their track or
running in the points as it's
their favorite driver of all time. Like, it's just cool to talk about all that stuff and conversate about it and
You can't cut your
follow the
chicken.
racing.
We
Try
are
to pay a
doing it
little bit
because
attention to the
I
tech,
think they're gonna
to the
reach
strategy,
again
to the drivers,
after
to the
that,
history.
because we'll only have
There's a
one
lot to Formula One. I love it all.
again. But if you look,
Um,
you cannot
I've been
take
watching for like 5 years straight.
No, so you've got to
The
be
first
able to get
full
your-
race that I watched, where I watched like the pre-race and the whole thing,
Very odd.
was Ricardo when he won in Monaco, like 2018 or something. So it's 2023 right now. So this will be 5 years once we get to Monaco, one of the most famous, prestigious races of all time.
With the stewards. The stewards.
They're showing Hamilton stretching out. Just got to get back in that car maybe one more time. Hey, shout out to Mercedes for making really good t-shirt material. I might have a couple notes on this shirt though. The material, the fabric, whew, the print, quality,
An unprecedented situation.
the sleeve with the little wrist, man, like that.
Only the second time it's happened this
I haven't watched this yet. We'll see what happens to this when I watch it, but yeah, I like that. Just the cut. I don't know. It fits like too baggy on the bottom. It needs to be a little bit more like a little more fitted around on the waist. I don't know who the average race fan is though. It's a global brand. I don't know. Guess I need to
Yes or no? If there was, then for all the drama,
eat a little more
being the
pasta.
result, you
No, I'm
can't
just kidding.
unwind that restart because
They're showing Piastri,
ahead.
the Australian, in his
What's
McLaren,
the result then? And surely there's not going to be another restart after
sponsored
that.
by Richard Milley and Google.
Everyone's just
Man,
waiting to know what's
good
gonna
sponsors.
The big question here is what takes
Richard
precedence.
Mill. Is it Richard Mill or Richard Milley?
You want to see
I heard
everything.
about him from rappers, I
Restart.
guess.
There's a restart order. There's a restart order for the field. We're going back, but it says restart order.
It's how it was.
Hmm.
Alonso is back in third. Sainz is fourth. Stroll is back to fifth. You now, though, have Perez in sixth. So there are no Alpines in the order. So it looks like there will be a restart. And everyone has got away
This
with
is crazy.
his
This is
Alpine
crazy.
travel and so
All right, man. Yeah. So, I mean,
it's Alpine that have lost all of their
back.
points.
Yeah, Alpine lost all their points. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of conversation about this.
So that will be-
You know, you try to do, if you're the FIA, you try to do what's safest for the race. That crash had a tire, a lot of carbon fiber on the track. They had to get the car out of there. It's in a narrow space. Like, yeah, this is an old track. It was really narrow in that section of the track, and red flag.
This is going to be quite the three. From pretty much at the back.
Showing the replay. Yeah,
Brakes nice and
Valtteri.
early. He's in complete control here.
yeah. Valtteri had
On the
a
left, there's more
good
on the
restart.
right, there's more on
Super
the right, there's more on the left.
conservative.
Here, bouncing wheels.
Yeah,
There's
that was
Alpine.
ugly.
Perez is going
Looks
slow
like
as well. Bottas,
Imola a little bit to me. I don't know. It looks like
oh, is it
Italy
10?
kind of.
Because there's another one on
Might be
here.
tripping.
Stroll.
Yeah, so they were showing
Later on.
Bottas's driver
Now
cam,
he goes back to
the third person cam, and
Up the order. Back to reality.
just people crashing out all around him.
Car 77.
So we're showing lap 58 of 58, right? All the cars are in the pit. I think if they just drive around to the start, that's the lap's over. So I'm trying to figure out like, well, what's the plan? And they're putting people in different orders.
for a final lap.
They said back to the restart order with Alonso in third, but
Red flag race.
this is
Have
crazy.
a standing start, which is what it was declared for that one. They could just say, look, we're not going to do that again. That was a bit out of control. We'll just do a safety car restart. You can race it out for one lap, but not all hurtling down to turn one together from a standing start. We're waiting just to see
Well, why is a standing start too dangerous now,
in which order.
but it's not too dangerous to start the race that way?
Yes.
Which is, you know, they're making like standing starts seem questionable,
Last year, being followed.
which I don't agree with that.
The first sector, so we couldn't establish an order. That is the reason why we count back to the final start order. If you're still running. And
What's going on, Formula One?
will have to swallow a pretty bitter pill there. Cards out.
So
Losing points.
we are coming up to 12:20 p.m.
For a really
AM,
strong day
excuse
behind
me,
the wheel. It's gonna have nothing
in Southern
to show
California
for it.
on now it's Sunday morning.
So they're getting the cars in order, and I believe there
So it's kind of cool to watch this race on a Saturday for us, which Las Vegas will be actually on a Saturday, which is going to be pretty cool. West Coast race.
So Verstappen with that under pressure.
I think
restart.
Dilly Dill and I are going to roll out for
Chaos.
at least the qualifying in Vegas.
I think that's a sensible
check that out.
conclusion in the end. That last restart, it was just after you do 56 laps of an eventful
Yeah, this is
race,
crazy. Alonso's
to
like
then have
moving
everything
tires.
to disarray for a bit of contact, and Alonso's
They're
out,
showing
Stroll's
Russell
out,
in the
both
pit,
Alpines, they are
chilling,
part of this.
smiling. He's like, look, I'm on TV. So should I put my sunglasses back on? Why?
But, you know, they came together themselves. If they were still circulating,
People in the
they
crowd,
could
big
have
old
gone
Daniel
on,
Ricciardo faces.
If you're wondering whether Alpine can appeal
He's
this,
got a lot of fans.
the rule book has been
They just showed a guy in the
there is provision
biggest pink shirt I've ever
that
seen.
has happened, that is happening. Obviously, in recent years, that hasn't always been the case.
They just showed a guy who's like 7 feet tall and like 400 pounds. That was crazy. Australia, let's go.
We're going to have 12 cars at the end of this one.
Pretty unusual for a modern Formula
Yuki
One race.
Tsunoda getting his fire mask back on. Alonso's like, really? I gotta get back in this car.
Yuki Tsunoda will
Alonso's like, why?
Again.
He's like, really?
On the restart order, Tsunoda will be 11th for the
So do they do a warm-up lap and it doesn't count as a lap? What is it? Is that how it works?
Piastri will be 9th. Then Hulkenberg takes a 8th place, not 7th.
Alonso's like,
6th for the back of the field.
what is this? If you're watching F1 TV and you're looking at your driver map,
The weekend,
you know, they haven't updated the order yet. And I don't think they can until the GPSs get sorted and they come out of pit lane.
4 separate races. It does
That's my only
just
qualm with
so just
their driver tracker is when the drivers are really close together, their names are too big and they cover each other up and you can't see any of the names. They should just get small and like stagger.
We are at that
And then
stage of the commentary, and we are ready for the
when they go into the pit,
effectively
they
a
just
victory
disappear
for Max
and it
Verstappen
confuses the
to enjoy.
GPS, but
Hamilton to
like
claim
there's got to be
his
some
first
way
win of the
to put some
season,
sensors in the ground or
Alonso
something where you know that they're
three
pulling into the
third
pit and you can
races
show
in a
that
row to
right
start
away.
the season after drama on top of
Still
drama,
update the order. I mean, it is 2023. We got like Chat GTP4. Maybe just tell them to do it. I'm just saying, F1, come on, yo.
An hour ago, didn't he?
for DC.
Showing Sir Jackie Stewart again. Hey, his pants match his hat, and his jacket is dope. I need to get me some gear like that, yo.
He'll have a cup of tea in hand, and he will be primed. and
Let's
ready
do
to
it.
go.
This is weird. The scene here is strange. Everyone's like ready to go home. Everyone's ready to end their live stream. Total Wolves talking to Fred Vassar.
Toto Wolff and Fred Vasseur have a conversation.
Fred Vassar? I mean, Fred Vassar?
And,
Yep.
From the footballers has caught on around the sporting world.
Normally they got the Netflix booms over the top to hear it next.
Someone's running their engine though. It sounds good. Burning off some fuel. What is that?
Verstappen waiting for the instruction. The race will resume in 11 minutes' time.
Sound crazy. Their starter or something?
This is a lot of work to do for procedure. There's a lot of work to be done for procedure.
Yeah, this is nuts. They're just going to drive around the track. Race will resume at 17:33 local
So
time.
Perez getting back into the back
5:33 p.m. in
to the
Australia.
Nomex 3-layer fire suit.
And according to the Citizen Blue Angel Watch,
And we will get back underway. The track has been cleared. The fans have had fun. Hope you've enjoyed this one as well.
I'm at 12 24
Some brilliant overs.
a.m.
It's had some great wheel-to-wheel battles.
9
It's had some
minutes.
strong drives, some impressive drives. It's had dramatic moments. It's had a dash of farce, let's be honest. But it has
Yeah,
been a memorable
watch is on.
Australian Grand Prix.
Better be on. Just timed off the atomic clock.
In a few moments' time, 10 minutes we've got until the restart. As per the procedure, 10 minutes is given. So the teams can go
Signs, he got
through
that Estrella
all the
Galicia
checks,
sponsor.
no rush,
They're showing that on
nothing
TV.
unsafe.
Who's this? Piastri.
Order
It's got Jack Daniels sponsor.
revert, it will be at the front of
Android
the field.
sponsor.
Verstappen,
Google sponsor.
Hamilton, then Alonso,
Some
Sainz,
McLaren fans out there.
Stroll will find
Australian
themselves
kids
as the car
getting on TV with their flag.
field.
Homeboy was pumped.
Verstappen
dope.
back in. As the sun dips ever lower in the sky,
Yeah, the sun's getting low.
nearly to
They need to get this going. These dudes, they're going to make them just basically drive around the track.
on, Max Verstappen chasing down. Still got to get to the flag.
A
Still gotta get to the
formality.
flag. DC 2002, leading on a safety car restart, had some sort of failure, pitched him off the road before he got to the start-finish line.
That's
So,
crazy. Someone's car just broke down
gotta
from restarting so
actually
many
physically
times
cross
before
the
in
line.
history.
That's the key point.
F1 history, boys and girls.
And if you're staying with us, we very
Restart
much
at the end.
appreciate this one.
So where are we going next?
The order will be,
Where are we
Sorted out.
going next?
and we will see them across the line.
I don't know, but Australian GP has been full of surprises.
Everyone enjoying this one. As Hamilton replacing the hands device.
I wonder how long until Ferrari's strategy is done by ChatGPT.
First podium of the year. The all-time record for
Dot
podiums,
4.5.6.
as we are set for our first safety car finish since Monza in 2022.
Alonso's going to become the first person to take 101 podiums and not win on that
Not
101st
stand
podium.
on
The
the top
stats
Yeah,
will
it's
go
funny
on
if
the
you look
window
at Google.
today.
Delete them.
The Australian GP was
New
yesterday.
Stats will be made.
Still going on, Google. It's not done yet, Google.
Yeah.
Come on.
Alonso. The incident
Azerbaijan,
involving
next
Alonso
race,
and
April
Sainz has been rated
30th.
for causing a collision. So that's all part of the race. That's not been deleted.
So we're taking some time off
Happened
after
down at turn
Australia.
one. Although the order has been
Interesting.
returned, you can still be
So it goes
penalised for what you did.
Azerbaijan GP, Sunday, April
And
30th.
it's on science, that, isn't it?
Miami Grand Prix,
Alonso was on the
Sunday,
outside of
May
the track.
7th.
Sainz came in a bit hot, tipped Alonso into a spin. Now it
And May
makes no difference
21st,
to Alonso
Emilia
because he's going
Romagna.
to finish third because the order's been.
But Miami coming up May 7th, Azerbaijan next, April 30th. So, I mean, these guys get a
Sainz gonna
month
put
off.
Sainz out of the points. Sonoda's the stats are going right out of the window. Sonoda's going to get 10.
Well,
Carlos Sainz has a 5-second penalty.
wow.
And this is the nature
Penalties.
of a 5-second penalty. Sometimes
Gnarly.
it doesn't make any difference at all. Sometimes it costs you dearly.
Gnarly. This restart was crazy.
Meaning that it's a rough day for Ferrari. One car out on the first lap. And on the last lap,
Dang.
or the penultimate lap, I should
Hmm.
say. Sainz's contact with Alonso.
Red Bull,
destroyed
Red
his
Bull, Red Bull.
points. And
It
that
was the
is that.
catalyst. It was the catalyst for the drama, though. That Sainz contact with Alonso. There was more further back with Sargent hitting De Vries.
Sainz
That
is
was
like,
not
really?
affected anyone
Really,
else.
bro?
Sainz and Gasly together going.
He just found out.
One.
Well, they like zoomed in on his eyes while we found out Carlos Sainz is
This is the moment.
getting a
on board
penalty.
With Carlos. He's okay there, but Alonso's chopping back a tiny bit, and Sainz
Yeah.
runs the speed and tips
Yeah.
into a spin. No big
Yeah.
lockup. With Alonso not there, he's not running off the track, but you've got to take into account your other cars that are there.
I don't know.
And
Sainz, he was carrying a lot of speed into that corner too, and
Happened to stroll on the exit of the corner. It didn't.
maybe he
Just
could have
hit
turned a
the turn.
little bit tighter, but not much,
Stroll
yo.
deep there. It's irrelevant.
Not much. They were all on
Sailing on by.
pretty much an edge right there coming into that turn.
Fernando could have
It didn't look like Sainz did anything wrong, but he didn't do anything right.
to do that. He can choose his line. At that
There was a
position.
little twitch there.
A little bit in the same way as when Carlos was on pole in
A
Austin
bit of a
last week,
twitch.
tipped into his
I don't
corner,
know.
George Russell. He could have been wider,
Hmm.
but it's still Russell that's come in and
I
caused
don't
the
know.
collision,
Yeah, they're
and then the mayhem is
Really
behind.
really
It's a strange one. This a 10-minute.
Going in on that.
to send them over the line. Could have been called a while back.
Yeah, it's crazy they're making them finish it
Been tempted
this
to
way.
put it on the red flag again, and
Like this probably is how
20 minutes, half an
Abu
hour.
Dhabi would have
Well,
ended
on precedent would
a
be
couple
if you
years
had a red
ago
flag
when
that late,
Verstappen
that
won
was
his
it.
first
You
championship.
wouldn't get a restart with 2 laps to go for a huge chunk of Formula
Like it's a
history. That
bummer,
would
but
be
it just is
take
what it is. That race, like Hamilton smacked him. If it would have ended like this, just under a safety car or whatever,
and we would have been well
like it would have
within red
sucked. But they would have been like, "Fuck,
dot.
Mercedes,
Alpine still on the ground.
they were the fastest car today." You know, that's what would have happened.
Nothing out of this one.
And given how tight it
But
is this year,
the way it
go out of
happened
the equation,
in Abu
it is
Dhabi, that
incredibly
should
tight
suck.
this year. That is big points disappearing for the French squad.
Yeah, Alpine got, man,
As they
short end
come
of the
together
stick.
as a result of the chaos.
They both put the pedal to the metal at the same time, and
We have 5 seconds penalty. No, it cannot be, Ricky. I deserve to be out of the points. No, no, it's unacceptable.
no, it cannot be, Ricky. No, Ricky, it cannot be, Ricky. This is not. This is.
No,
This reminds me so much of no, Mikey, no, Abu Dhabi. Yeah, it's crazy, Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
Not deserved. It's too severe.
It's gnarly they let you just listen to this like right after.
Like that.
He
And the entire
flipped his visor down.
Yeah, I can
Piss.
understand the frustration for him because
Damn,
it's a 5-second penalty that's gonna drop him from fourth.
Sainz is pissed, man.
You will not have
Sainz
time,
pissed.
apart from a safety car finish, where
But how
you're
could you
gonna
blame
lose
him?
positions with this. But
This is the weirdest end to a race.
Alonso has dropped to third.
It's not even over yet. They should just call it.
Mistakes on that
They
last
really
start.
took all this time just to make these guys get in the car and follow the safety car around one time. Like you could just say what order the
collision,
race ended.
but the consequence of it is that he's gonna take no points from this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can understand the frustration, but that's the rules. It's causing a collision.
So Sainz is
in the book,
technically in third place right now. Once they go
and
around,
it's just
do their lap
a
around the
bad
track,
line for him that it's gonna finish
I don't know what place that's going to
no
put him in.
chance to just lengthen the gaps between everyone behind him. But in the end, yeah, Alonso would have had no points. The Alpines have no points.
incident involving Gasly and Ocon.
Yeah, that was an early restart.
Gasly's got
Everyone was just in pit lane waiting. They got their blankets on the tires,
Well,
waiting to drop the jacks. They just want to restart the race. Everyone's in their cars.
Alan Permane, sporting director, will go up with them, with both drivers.
People in Australia, they're just sitting in the stands booing. It's crazy.
And
It's madness.
that's
Like,
how it works when teammates go.
Now I wonder if they're going to tell the drivers, you guys don't got to do the lap. It's all good.
Both accept some blame. Then the stewards basically.
Lance Stroll, sponsored by Peroni
Gasly does get a penalty point.
and Bombardier.
A race ban.
Probably not jet skis. Probably private jets.
Well, it's a good job he didn't hit the back of Alonso because he was millimeters from it. That would have saved Sainz from taking the penalty.
Oh,
If
man.
Gasly had a
All the
double
cars are
chance,
on,
but they were both
getting ready to
too
take the
hot.
blankets off.
And Gasly, yeah, he drove himself off the road.
They're all
So
tuned
Alonso
up,
was
nice and loud.
taking Alonso out. In the end, it was the guy on his inside. Carlos Sainz took Fernando out.
So they were saying earlier that
And that would have definitely been
back in the day,
for,
this same scenario happened. They had to do one lap behind the safety car, and the lead car broke down and lost the race, or would it restart or something like that.
Grand Prix for a couple of years.
But it sounds like everyone's restarted.
Feature-length classic.
Fans are leaving.
In the middle part.
They're starting to stream out.
And high drama. at
All the cars are dropped off the jacks.
Across the line to confirm the restart
Blankets are
will be
halfway off.
Only mechanical failure or something.
They're
Truly
counting down
can change the
on the
order
Breitling.
now.
Or Rich and Millie.
Sainz will drop down with that 5-second penalty.
Or the Citizen.
And so it will be a reminder for everyone to keep tight in the pack.
Got the close up on Hamilton, about to get a second place podium.
So finish, but not the one that we
Sainz, I don't know what he's going to drop down to. We'll see.
as you
All the
said,
cars are
it's the
on.
Sort of Grand Prix where someone does break down on this lap, don't they?
Yeah, I wish I'd never started that sentence.
It's the sort of weekend where there's been action.
All harvesting energy into their
Practice sessions, there was enough
energy
drama.
storage systems.
Qualifying yesterday was brilliant. So many cars in the mix.
Light just turned green. Safety car pulled out.
Taking himself out in Q1.
The remaining 12 cars are
A genuine fight between the Red Bulls and the Mercedes.
pulling out.
Not too far away.
A lot of
Alonso
cars
as
out.
well. And the drama is
The
just
order's
so
shifting a little bit.
weekend.
Alonso's up to third. Sainz is in fourth.
got to say, we are starting.
Stroll's in 5th, Perez 6th, Norris 7th, Hulkenberg 8th, Piastri 9th, Guangzhou Yu 10th.
To conclude the Grand Prix, I did think we'd be at full volume for this one.
Okay, Max. So, plan is safety car will enter the pit lane at the end of this lap. You will then take the checkered flag. It's a rolling start, i.e. just take the checkered flag. There is no overtaking until the line.
So that, it's going to be a well-earned win.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Fundamentally, he got the start done anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, that's
He had
crazy.
the restart.
So,
That was the one job. We heard him speaking to Christian
They just
Horner.
drive around the circle and
Standing start. Christian was
race is over, and they're just showing all the cars all beautiful, getting their standing ovation. It's like the end of a fashion show where they all come out, take their bow, listen to Kanye West. That's what's happening right now, basically. The lighting's all epic, low on the horizon.
About this becoming a night race, weren't they?
Earlier than planned.
Almost a night race. There's not enough lighting out on this track, I don't think, for this to be a proper night race.
But it has been
But who knows, maybe.
all-day classic since
On the lake, next to the sea, Australia looks beautiful on this fall day out there.
certainly into this corner, we've seen plenty of
So,
one of
the
most
podium
exciting
is
Australian Grand Prix
Verstappen.
years being
Increases his lead in the championship series with another first place.
Hamilton will extend his
Hamilton,
run of podiums in Formula 1 to 192.
second place. Got the
Alonso
silver.
through
Alonso
the
third
season,
place.
But standing ovation.
Sainz
for
off the
Max
podium.
Verstappen, doing it by the book, weaving to generate tire temperature that he doesn't need,
Hmm.
and he will tick off the landmarks as he comes across the line. Red Bull have never won the first
Verstappen
of a Formula 1
with the win.
season before.
Takes the
They are
checker.
winning 17 Grand Prix last year. They have taken, or will, in a few quarters' time, take
Well,
3 at the start of this
Congrats to another
Had to make the passes on track.
live show. Minus my co-host, Dilly Deal. Miss you, buddy. Glad you have fun at the party.
Such problems this time around for Max
I'm glad you
Verstappen,
stuck the front flip.
who comes out
Yeah.
the final corner, and the crowd on their feet to salute him for the first time in his
Verstappen,
career.
first place. Hamilton, second place. Alonso, third place.
Grand Prix.
Podium, Red Bull, Mercedes, Aston Martin.
Only their second victory at this circuit. Verstappen,
All right, guys.
37.
It's been a long show. Cheers. Later.
Season. Hamilton on 192 podiums in his Formula 1 career. 3 out of 3 for Fernando Alonso.